I can see light streaming through your window, and we're streaming poker. What on earth is going on?
Have we ever done an APAT show in the daylight?
I don't think we have. I don't think we have.
Sure we have. Yeah.
I'm slightly worried it's going to show off my, my lines and cracks and stuff.
But the clocks have gone forward in the UK, and the nights are drawing out, so to speak. And we've got some poker, day 2 of the 2 main events from the March Championship weekend. So we've got plenty to get through. 2
small fields, right? We've got 16 in the main, we've got 14 in the PLO. We've got some community members that we want to keep an eye on. It's a Monday evening, so there's not going to be a lot better things to do. This is good, right? This is good.
Definitely, this is what it's all about. We've got 16 players back for day 2 of the main event, the No Limit Hold'em. That started with 321 runners yesterday, all aiming to take a chunk of the $20,000 guarantee prize pool. We're down to 16. Chip leader at the start of this day 2 was Mark Roevers from the Netherlands with 2 million chips. Gustavo Pinto from Brazil in second, and Kerry Sweeney from Canada in third. The top 6 have all got over 1 million in chips. Right down the bottom, start of the day, was Tim Rutqvist from Sweden with just 300,000. Blinds, 17,500, 35,000, Des. So that's Tim with less than 10 bigs. We're about 4 minutes into play.
Are we? We're 4 minutes into play. I haven't even got any tables up. You're kidding.
We've still got 16 players. So Tim's not pressed the all-in button yet, I don't think.
There we go.
So,
okay. Well, look, I'm looking at the chat box. I'm going to get a table up here, but I'm looking at the chat box. First name of the chat box tonight, Mark Roevers. Right, straight in there. Good luck.
Yeah, our chip leader.
Good luck to everybody. So nice to see you in the chat, Mark. Good luck to you tonight. Nikki Goodine is in there as well, our Belgian player. Nikki will be looking for a good result. So let's see if we can get a table up.
Yeah, Nikki started today with about 20 bigs, so plenty to do some damage with. Let me quickly just break through the prizes here whilst we're talking. Obviously, it's a championship event, so there are medals for the top 3, APAT medals for gold, silver, and bronze position. But the cash is obviously the main focus. 16 players left, so they're all guaranteed now. Finishing in 16th will get you $210, but there's some big money up top here, Des. There really, really is. If we look at the final table, if you make the final table, final 8, you'll pick up $447. But there are 4-figure scores for the top 4. It's $1,190 for 4th. Then into the medal positions, $1,800 for 3rd, $2,500 for 2nd, and a whopping $3,685 up top.
Fantastic.
Which one of these 16 players is going to take home tonight?
Fantastic. Love it. Love it. Well, listen, we've put up the the main event. Have we got the main event? Yeah, we have got the main event.
So we've got
Nikki's table, Mark's table.
Actually, we've got the 2 chip leaders at the moment because Gustavo Pinto has lost a pot early on, and he's down to 1.4 million. So we've now got Mark Roevers and Kerry Sweeney from Canada on this table. They are the 2 chip leaders. Although both have lost, Mark's lost a few chips early on, and Kerry's picked up a few. So, but they're pretty much even, about 1.8 million.
Early days. Early days. How long do we think is this going to go for tonight? Is this going to get spicy, or are we going to see some strategic poker?
Yeah, I would imagine, because they're all comfortably in the money here. So I would imagine, we might find there's a good 3 hours play out this, maybe something like that, I would guess. But hey, I've said that before, and we've watched all of a sudden it's been exit after exit after exit. And if you've got a couple of players that really get aggressive, they can fly through this field quite quickly. So we'll see how it plays out. Average stack is just over 1 million chips, so that is nearly 30 bigs is the average stack at the moment. So there is plenty of play.
Plenty of play.
There always is,
plenty of play.
These. But give us a shout out, guys. Who you think? Obviously, I'm pretty sure I know who Mark Roevers and Nikki think is going to win this. I'm sure they're backing
Tony
themselves.
Ross.
But do let us know if you're rooting for anybody of the 16 remaining. Tony Ross is the only player from the UK left in this. We've got a lot of UK players left in the PLO that starts in an hour's time. 14 players coming back to that.
Right. Okay, that makes sense, because I had the in prepping this, I've obviously made a bit of a clanger in that I thought the PLO was starting at the same time as the main event. And I had the PLO lobby open, but I didn't see any tables being created. So
Yeah,
I
that'll
thought,
be
what
the
the
reason
hell?
why. Yeah, no, that's so the day twos always start the same time as the day ones did. So it was 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock last night, exactly the same thing.
Perfect.
Again. So this is blind on blind. Kerry, who was a chip leader before this this hand started, with Baz Delat, fires out a bet on a deuce ace 9 board. Always tricky with these blind on blind hands as to as trying to put players on on any particular ranges. I'll just get my range charts out. Yeah, Des,
If
I'll have
you
a
could
look.
just solve that for me, Lee, please. If you could solve it, please.
Yeah,
but I thought Baz there showing a bit of heart. You know, he's pretty committed to that pot at that point.
Yeah, but even Baz's stack against Kerry's there. I mean, it's he's got half the chips, so it can do a lot of damage. Really, there's not many of the shorts. So I suppose it's Tony and Aneta from the Czech Republic that are the two real shorts, and Tim, who's actually picked up a few chips. We must have won a pot early on this. But I would like to see you'd like to see the bigger stacks be reasonably aggressive at this point.
Yeah,
you've got Mark and Kerry that have got decent stacks here, and Yuri as well now, and they really should be applying as much pressure on the short stacks at this table as they can. That's how you go on and win the big cash.
Yeah, presumably Tim, Tony, Aneta. Hey, I mean, they've only got one move at this point, haven't they? Can you play some hands with 10 blinds? Unlikely?
Not easily.
Not really.
Although, to be fair, they're we haven't got an absolute huge like chip leader. That's absolutely kind of got a monster stack. I mean, 50 bigs is the chip leader, which is not a huge amount more than the average stack at 30, is it? Really?
No, absolutely
it's
right.
It's quite a level playing field, really. But yeah, you're right. Anything around the 10 bigs, you're looking for a spot to pretty much get them in first, and either be ahead and run good, or just take down the blinds, because the blinds are worth enough. At the moment as well for those short stacks.
Well, we've got a spicy hand here, Lee. There isn't a huge amount of pot there, but we've got an interesting looking board. Baz 2-act, 22 big blinds against 45 from Juric.
Yeah, there's not. I don't think a single chip's gone in after the after the blinds and the antes. It's been checked all the way down here. Again, it's blind on blind. It's basically who's gonna fire out a bet and have a go.
Yeah, it does feel that way.
Yeah, and Yuri's made that decision. Yuri's from Germany. Meanwhile, on the other table, Matthias Ditters is all in with King 7 against the Queen Jack of Marcus Vinicius, and Marcus flops 2 pair, and we are going to lose Matthias Ditters from Germany in 16th place. So that's a little bit of a pay jump for people now. Another $40.
Very good. Do you know, Lee, I don't think we've called a hand of poker probably in about 8 months. This is nice. This is
for anybody that's that normally tunes into the APAT show, they realize we very rarely talk about poker. To be honest, it's a side issue, isn't it? Really, the poker. That is for sure. But yeah, keeping an eye on both the tables here, because it's it'll be interesting to see. Wow, so Nicky's opened up here, and Kerry's re-popped it to 176,000. Just a min raise from Nicky from mid position, which is always a good spot for somebody to 3-bet. Let's see what Nicky's going to do. Using up that time bank. And it's a fold. Very difficult. It's I guess I mean, Nicky's got the option there to have flatted that and had a look at a flop. Wouldn't have been too much of an issue with stack size, but yeah, do you want to be grappling with a chip leader 2 to your left at this point in the tournament? ICM does come into it in the fact that there's some big money up top there, and to be making a wrong move now and busting for $250 when there's 3,500 up top, you're down to 15 players. Yeah, but Nicky fires the same bet out again. Very next hand, and this time it's a flat from Kerry. Let's see whether anybody's got an option there for an old school squeeze play in here. And there it comes.
I think it's Baz.
Baz does it. Baz playing out Malta.
I suspect Baz could be doing this with any two.
Quite possibly. It's very difficult for either Nicky or Kerry to,
you've got to have something.
Make a call here without having a premium hand. Which is why it's a beautiful spot for Baz the minute Kerry just makes the call.
Are you
the scary thing is, I guess the only potential is that with Kerry's just making the call, I mean, it has the potential to be a pretty strong hand.
Well, this is it. I mean, are you a fan of the squeeze play in this type of scenario?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's lots of value to be had by doing this, especially at this point in the tournament, and stack sizes wise, for Baz up against anybody on this table with nearly 800,000, it's a good spot to do that with. But Nicky's gone into secondary time bank here, so
he chooses to let it go.
And Kerry makes the call on jacks. As I said, I felt it might be a strong hand. Jacks against nines. It's going to need to be a 9 for Baz, and he gets there on the river. The 9 on the river.
Wow.
Is a double up for Baz Delat. And Kerry Sweeney takes a huge dent to their stack.
Well, wasn't it a 9 last night that Stefan Fischer got on the river to double up against Baz? Sort of late on in the evening. So Baz, it hurt him there. It benefited him. Isn't it? Absolutely right.
And Baz straight away next hand, getting more chips in the middle, looking to apply the pressure. As I said, when Kerry flatted there with the jacks, it felt quite a polarized hand. You are kind of think either it's going to be a very quick snap call because you've got premium, or you're basically going to think about it and let it go because you're either. I mean, you could see that call being made with kind of suited connectors.
Absolutely.
That sort of hand, and saying, well, I'll just see a cheap flop and see where I'm at. That's obviously, jacks is strong enough. You're not going to let those go there, because as you quite rightly said, Baz could be doing that with.
Well, in fairness to Baz, he's taken down a few hands at the start of play this evening. He hasn't shown anything. So this was our first indication of what he's playing, and can't argue with that play with that hand.
No, absolutely. On we go. Blinds have just gone up. So it's 20,000, 40,000 now, which means there's 100K in the middle, Des, before we even start. And certainly the likes of Anetta, Tim and Tony, at some point now, very soon, they're going to have to just make that decision that those two cards look good enough and get the chips in the middle.
Absolutely.
Anetta having a think about this one. And there it is.
Time to play.
Just the blinds to get through, and I'd imagine Yuri's be a very strange fold from Yuri, but of course it depends what Tony and Nicky do first.
Well, I'm surprised to see Tony still in this. He must have something worth considering.
He's gone into a secondary time bank.
Tony, of course, an experienced APAT player. He's been with APAT for, crikey, 13, 14 years.
And
here we go.
Decided to, just reshoves it, leaves 40,000 behind.
Interesting.
But it's effectively all in.
Well, he's going to be all in just a moment, I'm sure.
Yuri can work it out that it's going to actually be 313,000. He lets it go. Anetta's got aces. What a time to get aces. And Tony's got the sevens. Needs to be a 7-4. Tony or Anetta's going to get more than a double up, actually. Up to 500,000 in chips now. Tony takes a little bit back from the overbet.
Lucky Tony.
And is down to 130,000 now, which is three and a bit bigs. Wow, what a time for Anetta to wake up with aces. You've got an open and you're the short stack, and you're just kind of basically wanting to get get as many people involved and try and maximize your aces there, aren't you?
And he was slowish to get his chips in as well. It's not like there wasn't any indication that he was happy with it, and he was going straight forward. And played it beautifully.
That stack size, you kind of you're just thinking it's you're getting to the point of it's any two that look good. You wouldn't expect to be
interesting decision for Tony there. Lee, did you like the call or the push effectively?
No,
you're comfortable with that?
Yeah, completely, 100%. Because there's no way you putting an Etta on a super strong hand. You might be thinking you're flipping. It could be that you're against two overcards, but
you're not necessarily liking the potential of Yuri staying in the pot though.
No, if you wouldn't want to go, you want to go
heads up, right?
You want to be heads up with it. Yeah, I would agree with that. So raise from Baz again under the gun, and this time Kerry makes the call from the big blind. These two have checked things down previously, and that's what Kerry does. Let's see where the Baz fires out. He was the initial raiser pre. Is he going to fire out on this this board of Jack 7 deuce? Does fire out 56,000, which is only about a quarter of the pot.
Well, we've got a 9 and a Jack. Bit of history between these two.
Third heart on the board now. Kerry checks again. This time Baz checks, and the 5 of diamonds looks a very sad card on the river there, doesn't it?
Can't really improve anyone that. You're betting here if you Curry, presumably. Any two.
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm firing out a bet there. I think the check on the turn from Baz. Now it's whether Baz is is he? It's either value bet or he's it's a very small bet, but it's
might be enough.
Yeah, it's about 2/3 pot actually.
Wow.
So,
trips.
Wow.
Interesting way to play it. He was, maybe he's using Baz's early form against him. Maybe he expected Baz to bet. He might have expected Baz to bet a bit bigger on the end there.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I'm not quite sure what your, I mean, there's plenty of players that would have actually re-raised on the river in Kerry's position there. But I suppose the 3 hearts that are out, as Tony Ross is all in with the ace king, it's Jack 5 for Baz. Tony needs to avoid a Jack or a 5, which he does, and gets a double up. Yeah. So I mean, there's players that would have re-popped that back. I mean, ultimately with the hands that were there, Baz wasn't going to be calling any of that down, so probably got as much value as you were going to get out of it.
I'm assuming, Curry was thinking turn river. If I bet here, there's every chance that Baz is just going to get out. So he got at least a bet out of it.
Yeah, I would agree. So Tim's made the decision and is all in. And 3 decent stacks to his left to get through here. Baz has been quite involved in a lot of hands so far.
Very
He's
busy.
out the way. So, and Yuri's not interested either. So Tim adds 100k to his stack.
Which, to be honest, if you've got 250k, just yeah, that's a great ad. Feel good about that.
That's the point, isn't it? You've got to look to make those moves. As much as a double ups would be nice, but sometimes actually just getting it in the right spot and being able to pick up the blinds and ante is enough. So yeah, it's been quite a steady start. I must admit, we're 25 minutes into this day 2. I was expecting a little bit more action. We've only lost one player so far. That was Matthias Detters from Germany, exited in 16th place.
Sign of a semi-decent structure there, Lee, I'd have thought.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's. I think that was the feedback from players last night that were playing.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked briefly last night on the show about whether we felt that the Omaha required a day 2, but actually a lot of the players were saying actually sort of playing 3 or 4 hours on a Sunday night on a day 1, starting at 8 o'clock UK time is perfectly fine.
I have to say, I always feel that a day 2, be it live, be it online, it always feels like an occasion. There's something nice about going to bed, thinking, well, I've bagged up here, so tomorrow night's got some promise.
And of course, the beauty about doing it online is you don't have to stack all your chips back up, which is a is a benefit really.
You'd have to wait to the dealer to get to you.
Yeah, no, exactly. So it has
pen. Does anyone have a pen? A pen.
Yeah,
this thing has run out.
Never provide enough pens at poker events. That's for sure. And this is going to be the start of a crazy bit of time for online poker. I know we talk a lot, but I was saying to you earlier before we came on air, Des, about GG Poker announcing today their spring series just after PokerStars announced their scoop. And I know that Party Poker won't be far off with a Power Fest in the mix, because it's already the tab is already kind of in the lobby, so that's going to be somewhere along the lines as well. And it feels like we're going to be 2020 when we all thought everyone was going to be pokered out, kind of 2021 has gone, hold my pint, here I come kind of thing.
That's nothing. I mean, once Party announce, obviously we'll then come out with our festival of space poker cadets, with 2.5 million guaranteed. Let's do it.
But absolutely phenomenal. So for anyone that hasn't seen that today, the PokerStars scoop confirmed 100 million guaranteed across their festival, 100 plus events. Wow. And then GG came out and said, we'll see your 100 and we'll pop another 50 on that. So they're doing a 150 million.
Oh, and we'll run it in a similar timeline.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, in all seriousness though, Des, we talked a lot about this last year, and actually we had a number of pros on the orbit discussing the kind of the drain and basically just the tiredness of running these big series as a player. I mean, I did put on Twitter earlier on and just said, can this be beneficial for the players really? If you've got 2 massive series that are clashing like this, and they're flexing their muscles, they're trying to see who's basically the #1 site at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, as I think I said to you before we went live, it feels a little like GG are looking to disrupt the industry, right? There's a great old saying, be disruptive. They are disrupting, and it feels like they are stars of 20 years ago, just, breaking boundaries and creating the line. And you'd have to say, wow, impressive stuff.
Nice play from Mark there out of the big blind. Just bust Baz.
Tony's in here.
Pretty much.
He's got a slight lead.
As we just watch, see if Tony can double up through, and they're going to end up chopping that, which they do once the board pairs at the end. Yes, just say so. Mark Ruver's play with King 7 against the Ace 5 of Baz. Basically gave Baz enough rope there to kind of to go for it, and checked it back on the river. Baz decided to make the shove with the Ace 5. It was basically Ace high, made the shove, and Mark had rivered 2 pair and bust Baz in
was happy to
take
those chips, and it felt like Baz came to play. Right, he was busy. No, through the first 20 minutes, very busy
as well. Yeah, absolutely. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But just bad timing, unfortunately for him. But very well played by Mark. I thought played that hand superbly well, and has now gone over 3 million in chips. So it's now got a comfortable chip lead now on the rest of the field.
What's Mark's country, Lee?
Mark's from the Netherlands.
Ah, okay. I see the Netherlands, Lee. I don't know if you watched the the World Cup qualifiers. They had a bit of a tough one over in Turkey in their opening game. They lost 4-2. They were 3-0 down at half-time. The Netherlands. And they then beat Latvia, I think, by 2 or 3 a couple of nights ago. So back in the game. But, I thought there's another defence suffering without Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah, absolutely. Mark's in the chat saying... Baz is a top professional. Apparently he's Dutch also. Baz is, he's just living in Malta, so hence the Malta flag.
That sort of made sense to me. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if if the guys are in gaming and they're working out of Malta.
Yeah.
So,
well, I said to you last night, actually, when I saw B Delat, my first thought was Belgium. Then I saw the Malta flag, but obviously, Mark's now confirmed he's Dutch. He says, but anyway, let's get back to the poker.
Let's get back to the poker. Have you ever been to Malta, Lee?
No, I haven't.
Oh, go, man. It's a lovely little island. And it's just a hive of gaming activity, iGaming, poker, casino. I've been there several times. Lovely place. Great for an evening out as well. Just beautiful views across the island. But, I lots of mates out there who are working within gaming. Yeah,
we've now, I think we've either done 2 or 3 years with the Malta Poker Festival with the APAT event out there that Tom manages for us, and every time that they run it and the players come back and talking about how great a week they've had or a long weekend or whatever they've done, and I keep thinking, right, next year I must do it next year. And of course, I was planning on doing last year, and then COVID hit for us all.
It was you, was it? Do you ever do that? Do you ever, if something goes wildly wrong, you think, oh, that's gone wrong because I was planning to do something. That's why it
feels that way. Yeah, it does feel that way. But it's amazing how you have to pivot with these things and how you can make things work for you. My business partner in the quiz business had to pop round this afternoon because he's doing a quote for a window for us. So obviously with the quiz business kind of falling off a cliff, he set up a window cleaning business. And that has now grown to doing window replacement, panel pane, unit replacements and that kind of thing as well, because he used to work in the industry, so knows, so not replacing your entire window, just replacing the glass. If the glass unit pops and you get condensation, that kind of thing.
I see.
And I said to him, I said, if COVID hadn't have happened, and
you would never have known.
We hadn't have had to put the quiz business on hold, you wouldn't now have
that's fantastic.
3 businesses that are all ticking along for you.
Fantastic. I just get this slight worrying picture in my head that it's David, right? That David is coming around, he'll clean your windows, but he's putting a little bit of extra pressure on the glass while he's doing it. He's just trying to push back. Look, miss, is that your glass? You putty on the inside there. It seems to be a bit loose.
So Tony's all in, and Nikki's made the call, and it's a call from Yuri as well. Ace King versus Ace Jack versus King
Tony
10.
needs a 10.
Diamonds out there as well. Needs to be a 10 for Tony, and it's not going to happen. And we are going to lose.
We're going to lose Nikki.
Lose Tony, and
Nikki's still got chips.
It's a double up and a bit for Yuri, because Nikki had him covered. So Nikki down to 800,000, but we lose Tony Ross in 14th place. Tony picks up $250 for his efforts, but that's the last of the UK players, Des, with 13 players to go, and we've not got anybody from this fine island.
Oh, there we go. Brexit is complete. Brexit. We have reached Brexit.
Yeah, absolutely. We're not allowed to play anymore.
I'll tell you what. It works. European lads, we're happy to stay in, right? Lee and I,
apparently they'll let you buy in now, Des, if you're prepared to sell them some vaccines. Apparently that's how it works. So.
Yeah, there's quite a big expose on CNN tonight. I think it's on at about, 9 p.m. Eastern time or whatever, where a number of the senior doctors, that were leading the COVID sort of fight during the Trump era, Birx, for example, Fauci, etc., are being interviewed by CNN, have been interviewed, and it's a narrative of missed opportunities, people failing to take it seriously, undue pressure being put on people to say certain things. It's going to be really interesting to hear what these guys have to say.
As we were saying last night on the show, there's a lot of political speak that's gone on. When really it's not necessarily putting the best interests of the.
There's no place for politics in a medical
really
type. It's just
really
no place.
Be. No, completely agree. A nice shove there from an hitter, and gets it through. Blinds up to 25,000, 50,000 now, so it's starting to get a little bit tasty. And it's the short stack Tim Rupfquist who's in the big blind here, and it's Yuri that's applying the pressure.
So Tony's joined us in the chat box. I think he's watching in. Hope you're well, Tony. Unlucky there at the end, my friend. If you want to come and talk us through your few hands this evening, just give me a call on Facebook and we'll put you live. All right, that would be pretty cool. We'd love to have a chat with you.
Through the decision on the decision with the sevens. Yeah, tricky one. It is a difficult spot there. But say, I just don't think you put a netter on anything as strong.
No, aces. I mean,
over, not even an over pair to your sevens. I think you're thinking possibly making that shove with even possibly a raggy ace or something like that. But,
it's
but of course
also...
these guys will have played. Hope they'll have played a reasonable amount, I'd imagine. Last night on tables as we were getting down to the end of the play, so they'll know far more than we will. Last night we were busy focusing in on the kind of the deep stack and the closer, and left the two main events to kind of just play out down to two tables. So, and Tim's all in, and imagine Mark's got to be calling. It does. It's queen 10 for Mark. It's ace queen for Tim. Tim's in a nice spot.
He's
just got to avoid a 10, which he does. So it's a double up for Tim from Sweden. And that puts him on in 12 bigs now. So very much back in the mix. Still the short stack of the 13 players remaining. But
I see, Lee, we've got Peter Wigglesworth in the chat as well. Did we make a decision with regards to ladders as to whether to include the medal events or?
We are, they're all included for this week. But what I've decided to do is anybody that was on,
you're going to hold their status for another week.
I'm gonna freeze. So for this week, I'm going to freeze anybody's ladder level, so nobody can go backwards basically. On the basis of the championship weekend.
Pete, if he's confirmed in the top 20, which I assume he will be, will go forward. He'll go up. He'll go up a level.
Yeah, he'll be the first one to get to step 4 if he if he makes it there. So it starts getting quite tasty actually. Then if you can get in the top 5 positions each week. Gary Young messaged me earlier on today and asked exactly the same thing. Yeah, funnily enough, he didn't see the show, listen to the show last night. So he said, "Look, Lee, do you think there's it's quite a lot going on this week, and it's quite expensive to play, and I know I could satellite into some stuff, but." He said, I was just wondering, I mean, would it make sense maybe if you, I don't know, you freeze them or something for the week? I went, yeah, don't worry, Gary.
We're ahead of it.
We're ahead of it. We'd already realised that and we're nothing if not fair to players. So if we feel we've got a promotion or we've got something on which is not just as watching here, Mark's with ace 10 and Nicky's got the ace king. They don't want each other's cards now once the jack and the queen hit.
So that's a big double for Nicky.
Yeah. It's double up for Nicky through Mark. Yeah, so we say when it comes to that, it's we're nothing if not reasonable with players, and the right thing to do there is just when we're on a championship weekend, to just make sure that players can't go backwards in that promotion. It's all about giving away some free tickets for people to play more APAT events. So we don't want to stop that from happening.
Just checking YouTube to see if we're up and running, and indeed we are.
I mean, what odds would you have given on, if Pete manages to stay in the top 20 this week and jumps up to step 4? I mean, what odds would you have given on the first player to get to step 4 being Pete Wigglesworth?
I wouldn't have been given long odds. I would have thought, Pete would have been amongst my favourite options for that.
Yeah. And Tony's a good finish in the main. He'll be in the mix for top 20 this week. He was on step 2 this week, so he might see himself jump up to step 3 next week potentially.
Well,
Might have just done enough.
of course, we didn't have our APAT show last weekend, so in my head there's a gap. The gap is week 2. It just
Week 2
didn't really
so
happen
week
in my
2
head.
was
We haven't discussed it.
so week 2 was won by Peter Monroe. He picked up 3 tickets. He was only on step 1, so that didn't cost us much, Des. It was a cheap win for us. It was a cheap win. Second and third got a bit expensive though, because it was Gary Young in second and Rob Swindells in third. They were both on step 2, and they got 2
Good
tickets
lads.
each.
Good
So
lads.
that cost us $22 each. And Tom Banks was also picked up 2 tickets, but he was only on step 1. Cheap date, Tom Banks. He's a cheap night out, not a problem at all. So we're okay with that. And Roman Champy or Chompy, Champy. He was the other one who picked up double tickets. All the rest of the guys were just on single tickets, and the only one of those that actually was anything other than level 1 was Mr. Wigglesworth. He's not doesn't set the world alight, does Pete, but he's done enough to basically work his way up through the steps quite nicely so far.
He's
very
he's
clever,
disciplined, consistent. He knows what he has to do.
Not worried about the big tickets at the top. So all the others from 6th down to 20th, apart from Pete, were all on $5.50 single tickets. Again,
you'd have to say, Lee,
cheap week for us. So
right, we haven't really thought too much about player strategy in this, but if as per your example of Pete, if players have middle tabled it all the way up to step 4, step 5, if you get to step 5, you're going to put every effort in to try and pick up 3 109 tickets.
Yes.
Right. I want 3 of them. I don't want one of them any longer. I want 3 of them now.
That's the one to go. Is once you're up at the 33s and up, to be honest, that's
more serious.
You're going to play more. And we'll have a number of players that are doing that each week, and it will vary. That's for sure, because not everybody can do it every single week. So
but the nice thing,
move up and down.
The nice thing is, as you move up the ladders, of course, you're earning tickets, which enables you to play a bit more anyway. So it doesn't have to be a strain on your bankroll.
No, that's the idea. And as we say with all of these things, a normal week in ladders is I think it's 16 tournaments in total. It's two a night and then 4 on a Sunday.
Yeah.
But you don't need to play them all. If you play 2 or 3 nights a week, just looking on the other table, Richard Brunning's all in with 10s against the ace king of Daniel, and the 10s are going to hold, and we're going to lose. We are going to lose Daniel in 13th position.
Well,
Daniel
back on the feature table, and Net is all in with ace deuce against ace jack from Mark.
Needs to be a deuce or a 3, and
it's not going
to be there. And Mark's going to. Roovers is going to hoover up those chips. And,
I'll tell you what, he'd got himself back to 2.5 million, Lee. So the misstep with Nicky had been recovered prior to that hand, more or less, and we're back in good shape if you mark Roovers.
So Daniel Hernstrong from Sweden finished in 13th place, picking up $250. Aneta Schwarzova from the Czech Republic finishes in 12th, and we're down to 11th. Wouldn't want to call this at the moment. We got a couple of Canadians, a couple of Germans, a couple of Swedes, one player from the Netherlands, one from Belgium, one from Mexico.
I have to say, I thought it was one of our great, decisions within the WCOAP to play the national anthems for the winners. And we talked about it, hadn't we? Talked about it live for a number of years. We'd said we're going to do this. And of course, online presented us with the ideal opportunity logistically to be able to do it. But I thought it was a great success.
Huge success, yeah. And lots of players have played it and have stuck with us. And what we're seeing now is players from all over the world playing APAT events on a weekly basis, which is amazing. I mean, that just looking at that week, that's week 2 that we were just talking about, that we didn't get a chance to talk about on the show. There were players from Russia and Greece, Lithuania, Canada, Mexico, Ireland, Germany, and a bunch from the UK, all picked up tickets in that week.
Fantastic.
And we'll see again this week, the top 20 players from Austria, Germany, Estonia, Russia, Ukraine, Brazil again.
Well, I tell you what, Lee, Leanne was close to doing it last night. I think it was Leanne from Ireland. She finished runner-up in the closer. But if we do see an Irish winner, I might very well play the Irish national anthem. I've been waiting to play it since the WCOAP. I nearly talked players into changing their nationality just to be able to play it. And I've got it here and ready. There it is.
Oh, wow. Truth is out there. Yeah.
Because, Lee, it's unlikely to happen. Just based on what I've seen in recent months.
Yeah, Leanne McAvoy finished second in the deep stack.
Was it the deep stack?
Yuri's all in with ace-9 against Kerry's 8-7 with two diamonds on the board. And Yuri had the pair of aces and it's held for him. And we're going to lose Kerry in 11th spot.
That's quite an incredible turnaround. Kerry was in a good space an hour ago.
Yeah, Kerry came into this third in chips. And has bust the tournament in 11th place, picking up $296. And we are down to 10. We are getting closer and closer. We are hand for hand because I think we'll play a 9-handed final table. So I think we're hand for hand at the moment now. Before we hit this final table.
I have to say, Lee, I think our software.
Tim's all in, Des, and Yuri's made the call. It's queens for Tim. It's Yuri's got the 7s. Tim just needs to avoid, and a 5 now. Needs to avoid a 5 and a 7. And
he's good.
Does double up for Tim.
Tim has picked his spots well, I have to say.
Yeah, he has. Has played that short stack well and is now sat on just over 1 million chips and is now 7th out of the remaining 10.
I have to say, I think our new software is playing beautifully. The beta. Okay. We've got some nice new options in terms of the way to present stuff, which is good.
So Mark Roovers has just said, someone told me there might be some extra prizes. Can we win a medal? Yes, you can, Mark. The top 3 players. This is a medal event. Our 2 main events. And so top 3, gold, silver, and bronze medals are up for grabs in both this and the PLO that starts at 8 o'clock, the day 2. So yeah, very much you can get your hands on a medal.
Just give you a little,
quite happy to be shipping a medal to the Netherlands. It's cheaper postage than in some of the countries we've shipped stuff to in the past couple of months. So,
little taster for you there, Mark, on your screen.
So Tony says, great championship, guys. 7-7 hand. I took bad advice. I won't say from who. I don't. Yeah, I'd imagine. I would imagine it's a decision of whether he's going to shove or not. He was using a free roll on this one. He used a $5 ticket to get into the. Oh wow, amazing! So he had a $5 ticket from getting in the top 20 leaderboard. Used that to qualify for this, and then managed to turn it into a nice bit of cash. So how good's that? That's the way to do it. That's what I'd like to see. So you can win those tickets every week, get into the top 20 of the ladders, leaderboard ladders, and you'll pick up a ticket depending on what step you're on. Do it week after week after week, and you'll move up the steps. So it starts at $5.50. If you make it in the top 20, you'll then be playing for $11 tickets the following week, then $33, then $55, and 109s. Are the top tier that you can be playing for. If you're in the top 20, you're guaranteed 1 ticket for the level you're on. If you're in the top 5, you're guaranteed 2 tickets for the level you're on. And if you top the leaderboard for the week, you will get 3 tickets for whichever level you're on.
Nice.
And we always try and do, for those people that are new to APAT, we try and put promotions on and things on that are just a little bit different and interesting without being too driven by having to play every tournament every day and trying to grind out the kind of the rake race style thing. It's not really the way we work, and we're all about adding value back to players. We've been doing it for nearly 15 years. That's what we're all about, is giving amateur players the chance to play really good quality events with good added value.
First event, Lee. First event, Birmingham, September 2006. Daniel Phillips won it. And we sent him off to play in EPT Copenhagen, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and we sent every single winner in season 1 off to an EPT event, apart from our final event winner, who I think we send off to the World Series of Poker, to the main event.
But over the years, players
Oh,
have had
millions.
some amazing experiences. I mean, we had one year we had two players got a $20,000 sponsorship package to go and play events that they wanted to play. We had a year where we one of the players that was player of the series in the WCOP, the World Championship of Amateur Poker, got a ticket to go and play in a WCOP Europe event and cashed for
Cash, he
about
final tabled. I've
was it
got a
40,000? Was it 40,000?
yeah, I got a video of Jack
Euros or
Effel
something like that?
introducing him
Yeah,
at the final table. It was
yeah,
fantastic.
just amazing stuff. So yeah, it's a great gateway to get in and play bigger stuff. And I'm sure, based on what we were talking about last night, we're going to have a few players that are going to have a go at the Irish Open this week. That's going to, as we said,
Yeah, I'd have thought so, Lee.
800 plus runners in the day 1A last night on
It's
Party Poker.
incredible numbers.
It only needed 1,000 to hit the guarantee, and there's a day 1B and a day 1C to come.
You know,
so it's gonna
I
smash
think I saw a tweet today. I assume it was posted today from Patrick Leonard, saying doesn't understand why anybody would want to go back to playing live, given how juicy and how efficient just playing online is. You don't have to get out of your PJs if you don't, so your costs are minimized. But yet there's just such an array of tournaments, such a great, amount of opportunity to win big money. How do you go back to playing live? Now, I have to say, a lot of people came in on the thread and said, there is no argument. There's nothing like playing live, right? The social side, having a beer, being in a hotel, all of that sort of stuff is nice and different. But he makes a good point. I mean, it's the online scene is it's never been better.
Do you know what I think you'll see happening? I think you're going to see a lot more of it. It's something which we were quite innovative with. I can't even think what season we did it, but when we were one of the first to run an on live.
We were the first, 2007.
Where so the significant chunk of the tournament was played online, and then the remaining players got to play a live event. And I think you might see more of that.
Yeah, well, the beautiful thing
with those end of those tournaments being more televised and being more of a kind of an entertainment event, I think you might see a lot more of that.
Yeah, no, I think the beautiful thing about that particular initiative was that the players when play stopped with 9 left online, we retained their seat position, their chip stack, so exactly what they finished online with
back online,
was their starting point live.
Interestingly, Stephen Ralph says Patrick's point was more, why would any operator want to go back to live?
That's a fair. That is a fair call,
and that is, and that's again, funnily enough, I think. I'm trying to think when we were talking about it. It might have been after the show last night. We were briefly talking. We were talking about something that Rob Young had said just as we hit the final table, and we lost Paul. Who did we lose? Paul Andre Peter Christofferson from Sweden in 10th place. So we have a final table. And we were saying when Rob Young was on the orbit, he was chatting about the online events, and people have no comprehension of the cost associated with these, and they're very much a marketing tool and blah blah blah. But yeah, it does make you wonder why. I think when there was an event in Sochi in between one of the two of the lockdowns. I think Rob might have gone over there for that, and they didn't put a guarantee on it. And the first time they've ever not put a guarantee on one of these big live events, they just ran it, and I think it broke all records.
In Sochi,
I think he was saying, have I got this business model wrong of putting guarantees on? Is that not what people want? But what people want with a live event is they want an experience.
Yeah,
they want they want the entertainment and the feel and the social side of it. But does that need everybody be turning up en masse for that to happen, or could it be that it's actually the live element of it is a smaller field? It keeps the costs down.
Don't think it'll be an issue. Don't think it'll be an issue.
I think you'll find a lot of players would go, well, yeah, that works for me. When they introduced the kind of cashing, cash guaranteed into a day 2, they've done it again with the Irish Open. So if you got through the day 1, you're in the money. Well, that's a huge thing. And if they doing that from a live point of view, that you play your day 1 online, you don't incur any costs, and you can still then go there and know you're already in the money into day 2 and what normally with these events is a day 3 as well across a weekend. Well, then you make your travel plans.
Yeah.
And I think what you might find is you have a greater time scale between a set of day ones, as we're seeing Jim all in with ace king against Nicky's king 9. Nicky's hit a 9. Oh, he's got there with a 9.
Wow,
And we're going to lose Jim Cook in ninth place. Yeah, but you're going to see, I think you'll see a bigger gap between online day ones and then effectively the target tournament. To give players the chance to make their travel arrangements for wherever it might be. Which is similar to how the World Series played out last year.
And I could absolutely see that happening, but I struggle to see that happening with the likes of an APAT, for example, where it's very, very focused on the community and meeting up with your mates and stuff. I think
different thing though, because it's a recreational poker and it's at a price point where I think when you're at a price point, Des, where the buy-in to the poker tournament is probably the cheapest of your costs over the weekend, when you compare it to accommodation and food and drink. Yeah, when you think that for a lot of APAT players, yes, the buy-in is probably the cheapest bit of the weekend.
No, it's very, very true.
To play a two-day event. We are kind of unique in that scenario. Where you can rock up to play an APAT event. And for anyone that doesn't know, our normal live events in the UK or across Europe or the world for that matter are probably about about £100, €100, something along those is our main event, which will be a 2-day event. The reality of it is that's by the time you've had travel and accommodation, whatever, you're not going there for that. You're not going there for that value.
So typically it's like it's €100 for your buy-in. It's about €10 for your food and about €500 then for your drink.
Yeah, at least
the typical cost of an APAT 2-day event.
Exactly. Exactly. So let's see. So Stephen Ralph says, he knows a group in Edinburgh that is doing a day 1 A, B, C, D over each Sunday in April, and all the day 2 will be in May when allowed to live at a casino. And that's the type of thing I'm talking about. I think you will see more and more of that happening, where you'll be, and I think you also might see, which would be quite an innovative thing, is the ability to qualify a stack and then choose which event you actually decide to go to with.
That's interesting. Yeah.
For the day 2.
Yeah.
And basically the prize pool will be then based on what people have brought into that particular event. As Marcus is all in with ace 8 and it's Mark Ruvers with the jacks, and the jacks are going to be good. And
Mark's really extended his stack here, Lee.
Yeah, down to 7, and Mark is taking a nice chippy as we go on a 5-minute break. But I think they did that, Des, with do you remember the Grand Prix series that was based in the UK? For anyone who doesn't know, it was run by Rob and the guys at Party Poker Live, and they played them out at football grounds around the UK. So they played at Stamford Bridge and Old Trafford, and I think it was Ninian Parking. Well, it's the new Cardiff City Stadium. Ninian Park's showing my age. And
Stadium of Light.
Yes, I think so as well. Yeah, but you could qualify and build and choose which one of them you wanted to take your stack through to play.
Yes.
So they then became kind of generic. It wasn't satellites because you were carrying a stack forward, so it was a little bit more than that. But it's a bit more admin to organise. But actually, the whole concept of doing that with recreational players, it's a lot about picking a target event and trying to qualify for something than it is about just, it's just another tournament to play. It's just, they're normally looking at, they've always done with APAT. When we put our schedule out for the year, they're working out their holidays and they're working out, well, which ones can I go to, and talking to their mates and going, right, what are you going to play? Are you going to play this? Are you going, in the year? Not talking about like in the next month or two. They're talking about 12 months, ahead, working out what it is they want to play. And I think that's what amateur players do.
No, I think a lot of what you've said there makes a great deal of sense. It wouldn't surprise me to see some of that coming in. I think you're quite right. We've seen elements of it coming in from time to time in the past. I think the biggest challenge for the operators, particularly where they offer guarantees, is that thing of enabling the players to take a choice of which events they would go to. That might end up creating overlays at certain events that are less popular with the players. So that would be the barrier, perhaps, from an operator point of view. But let's see what happens. I think there'll be a big demand to get back to live.
You know me though. I mean, I've been not against guarantees, but I see guarantees as a negative for a long time. That's just my personal opinion on them. I think they cause more problems than the necessarily it's worth, really. But we've now become in a situation where in the industry guarantees are just a given.
Yeah.
There's an expectation that there'll be a guarantee. Players have got so used to now going, the first question they ask is, well, what's the guarantee?
Yeah. Well, from day one, APAT never offered guarantees. And we've done it on very rare occasions, but we never saw the need to do it. It's a different model, of course, but, we never had an issue selling out a venue.
No, and I think that might be the way that it goes. It's more about the quality of the event that's being put on, and that will bring the players to want to go and play that event, because it's more than just the poker. And you've seen that quite a lot with what Party Poker Live have done with their millions events and that kind of thing. The experience that players get. Yes, there's big guarantees on that, of course there is, but it is the experience that players are getting. They're trying to qualify for a holiday, for a break. Players used to want to go to the Caribbean events because it's a 2-week break and you play some poker and it's all,
No, I agree.
That's what it's about.
I agree, sir. I agree, and you can't do that at home in your PJs, right? You've got to get out to get that experience.
Of course you have. So we are 7 players left in the No Limit Hold'em event, which means these guys now are all guaranteed. They've locked up $545, should I say. We are about 1 minute away, Des, from the start of day 2 in the PLO. We've got more chance of a UK winner in this, I think. I think 9 of the 14 players left in this are UK 4-card specialists, shall we say.
And the field currently being led by one Kai Hutchinson.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Completely. So interesting. Stephen Ralph is in chatting. Stephen's in the PLO. He's 7th in chips. But he's been putting plenty of stuff in the chat saying if it's staying online in any major format, they need to let us know the series when the series is coming up, dates, etc. So recreational hobbyists and regs can plan effectively. That's exactly what I'm saying. Glad Stephen agrees with me on that. That's what your recreational players want to do. They need to make plans. They want to try and qualify in for stuff and do things. I've got Pete Wigglesworth sending me. You've got that as well.
The Venetian Deep Stack Festival and World Poker Tour going strong in Las Vegas. Well, we saw that, didn't we? We did a video from the Venetian 2 weeks ago on the APAT Show. Yeah. It looked amazing over there, I have to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting times. That's for sure.
Okay, let's get the poker back up, Lee. We're just kicking off. There we go.
Brilliant. So Mark Roovers has twice as many chips here as the next best player in Gustavo Pinto, but they were 1 and 2 going into this day 2, and we started with 16 players. We've now got 7 remaining, and they are still 1 and 2 in chips. They've gone up and down though. It's not been plain sailing for either of them so far, but very much.
I got a sense Tim will be the one sitting down there amongst them, obviously under pressure, but I mean he has profited on his starting position. There is no doubt. So he's almost on a hide into nothing here.
Couple of shout outs here. The biggest mover in this day 2 so far has been Jens Hegelman, who's 3rd in chips at the moment. Jens started with 672,000 going to this day 2 and has over tripled that. And he's 3rd in chips. And a shout out for Tim Rufquist as well. He was the short stack of the 16 going into this final day and has managed to ladder up 9 places.
That's
still
what
the
I
short
said
stack,
a minute ago. Yeah,
still the short stack, but has got 11 bigs. So and he's on the big blind at the moment.
Nothing to lose now, Lee.
No, completely. That's for sure.
We see a cheeky little flop here, Nicky and Tim. Nicky can't feel great that Tim has called him here. takes the pot.
So PLO is underway. Just going to bring up Kai's table so we can keep an eye on that as well. And let's get up the other one as well. Not that it'll be easy to follow quite all the action that's going on, but we'll keep an eye on it anyway. So it's a shove from Yuri and gets called by Tim. It's a race, and Tim's hit his ace. Needs to avoid a 10, and does. And
Tim doubles.
Yeah,
Wow.
Tim doubles up.
Tim's day just gets better and better.
Yeah, he's not the short stack anymore. He's 6 or 7 now.
Oh, you'd have snapped your hand off for that earlier on today, I'll tell you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's with 7 players remaining now. The guys are guaranteed $545. He started the day guaranteed 210. So a little bit of delicate play and making the right shoves at the right time has seen him move up the rankings. So yeah, in the PLO, just a quick shout out. So Kai, we mentioned, was the chip leader. Barry Styles, and I'll just list the UK players quickly. Barry Styles, Tim Brown, Stephen Ralph, Chug Kenny, Gary Phillips, Thomas McCartney, and John Murray was the short stack there. We've also got Roland Egrisitz from Austria, Austin Marks from Germany, Sebastian Posch from Germany, Victor Engström from Sweden, Andre Ouida from Canada, and Matthias Detters, who actually, so Matthias is the only player that made both day 2s.
Wow.
So,
well, Yuri's just doubled there against Mark. His ace high card just beating Mark's king high card.
Yeah, so Matthias was 16th, first one to bust today in with what we're watching here, and he is also very short stack in the Omaha as well, but made both day 2s. Pretty impressive.
Oh, it's got to put him in good shape for the ladders promo this week.
Yeah, he'll pick up quite nicely on the back of that. Although the points are kind of not top heavy, but you do need to have a pretty decent run in some events to score anything, because he's gonna pick up probably about maybe 100 points across those 2 maybe. Whereas obviously the winner from what we're watching here will pick up 180 points in total, which will, I think, possibly might put them top of the leaderboard. But as I say, we're going to freeze those steps on a championship weekend as well, just to be fair to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you've not checked out the leaderboard ladders, just go on to apat.com. If you have a look under rankings, you'll see weekly rankings, and you'll see it all explained there. You don't need to do anything. If you're playing APAT events, we basically will pick up all your details and add you to the leaderboard. It's real names. We just pop in your real name and your country in there as well. And yeah, if you finish in the top 20 in a week, you'll see some ticket in your account the following week. Nothing you need to do at all. Of course, apart from make sure you're joined up with apat.com, which again you can do on the website. Just fill in the details and make sure you're free. It's free to become a member.
So a little bit of chat box stuff. Lee Stephen says, "What's the stream delay?" About 30 seconds. Of course, we're not showing any hole cards, so we go on a 30-second delay. Kai is in there. Evening, gents. Looking forward to this. Well, best of luck to you, Kai. Underplay now. And Team Belgium is in the house. So Gunther Syrinx is joining us. Good evening, all. Let's go, Nicky, for the win.
Feels ages since we've had Gunther in the chat.
Nice
it's like the world champs all over again.
It feels a bit like that. A smaller version of that. It does.
Most definitely. Yeah, we're very careful with the stream, even though we're not showing hole cards. We're careful about saying too much about a particular hand whilst it's in play, because we wouldn't want to, mind you, anyone would listen to anything.
I wouldn't listen to us.
Not anyone would listen to anything we would say. Yeah, we talked Matt Dale into making a call live on the show once, and he got bust from that. So don't listen to us.
I think we we named 3 players that we liked their chances late last night in the
they all bust
in the main. They were all gone within 5 minutes. It was incredible to watch.
Yeah, anyone that's again is not tuned into the show before, we do have a tendency to block players quite nicely. So it'll be fine. So yeah, in the main here, blinds are now 35,000 and 70,000. Average stack is 2.3 million. So it's sitting nicely at just over 30 bigs, Des. It's ticking along as you would expect it to. Mark Roovers is our chip leader. Already lost one in the PLO, and the player that I just commented on, Matthias Detters from Germany, first to bust in the No Limit Hold'em we're watching here at the moment, and he's first to bust in the Omaha as well. But he's picked up $116 for his trouble. So good effort though to make both day twos.
Superb.
Even if he has bust early in both of them, very impressive.
So we've got 4 cards on the board. It's 200k in the middle. Tim's put out a raise, and Jurish decides to let that one go as Tim gets a little richer, and he just goes beyond 2 million chips, continuing his comeback from being bottom of the leaderboard at the start of play.
I must admit, the new leaderboards are great because the not having the stress of a Sunday night trying to work out which teams won poker squads is it's quite refreshing.
Oh, I miss it, Lee. I miss it. I miss it. It was the highlight of my week during lockdown, I have to say. Not playing it, just trying to figure out who the hell was winning what.
Yeah, it did get a little bit crazy at times, didn't it? But yeah, it's not having to worry about that. Because this is so much more straightforward. Just say type the names in and it's done.
Boom.
And you don't have to live trying to work it out and who might be winning something.
So Mark and Gustavo are down to a turn card now. 600k in the middle. Mark first to go. Jack 9, 3, 9. A couple of spades out there. Mark bets 455.
Yeah, it's just under half a. Just under half, and just over half the pot. Actually, nearly 3/4 of the pot.
Gustavo doesn't like it. He lets it go.
Omaha news for you, Des.
Yeah.
John Murray is on the charge. He's gone from 23,500 stack, short stack at the start of the day, and he's already up to 135,000.
Bloody hell! Wow.
Already. So I'd imagine that's probably a couple of double ups.
That'll be John's solver. He's got a solver in Excel. It can only fit in 1 million rows though, so it's not an entire solver.
He's still working off Lotus 1, 2, 3, I think.
Hey, there was nothing wrong with Lotus 1, 2, 3, you know.
No.
Alt FS, you know, I was one of those guys.
It was just right software, wrong time.
Detail. We are going to join the PLO, guys. Of course we will. We'll see out the final here in the main, and I'm sure we'll be joining the PLO for hopefully a large portion of the final. We shall see.
So Gunther says, been working on my room after the WCOAP. Finally finished, so ready to join the player pool again. Excellent stuff. Well, jump right in, Gunther. There's plenty of good tournaments. A lot of events that you'll have remembered from playing in poker squads. It's just a slightly different leaderboard these days. But you'll see plenty of good ones. There's a few more knockout tournaments during the weekend. Sundays have got a little bit more tasty because there's 4 events now on a Sunday night. Starts at 5 o'clock UK time with a deep stack. Then we have a No Limit Hold'em and PLO event at 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock, and then we finish with a turbo event at 9 o'clock. We may on a Sunday night with the show look to do something with the 9 o'clock turbo. We might maybe start getting the guests in playing that and following that early on a Sunday night.
I'll tell you what, Lee, we've got 5 cards on the board here. Gustavo's pushed all in on the end for another 1.5 million chips.
Third of Mark's stack.
It's a big old decision, and he's gone deep into the well here. We've got, yeah, I mean, there's some interesting cards on the board. I guess Mark is probably asking himself, what of that does Gustavo like?
Yeah, the trouble is there's a lot there. I didn't see what the pre. It's blind on blind, isn't it? Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, Mark's going to be questioning is his. You know, I'm assuming he's probably got a pair.
Yeah.
He's thinking, is his pair any good? I can't believe blind on blind that Gustavo would be that strong, but sensible thing from Mark, I think, in that situation.
I mean, he retains his chip leads. No,
yeah,
you can't win this tournament with that hand.
Yeah, Jack Hipkiss is in the house. Evening to you, Jack. Hope you're doing well.
I'm definitely not seeing all of the comments.
No, you've called some out that I don't see. So welcome to Facebook, folks. And in the PLO, Thomas McCartney departs in 13th place.
Actually, those comments have popped up now, but they've popped up as I was looking at my screen. So I'm seeing them like 30 seconds, a minute later than you have in that instance. Evening to you, Jack.
So Jens raises up from the button, and Tim with a stack now. This is unusual. We've seen so far since the past hour or so, Tim's been the short stack, basically just ducking and diving and looking to make double ups, and he's now very much up there with a playable stack, over 20 bigs. And lets that go. Short stack here now is Richard Brunning. Richard's playing out of Mexico, according to the lobby.
Again, we know we know a lot of players from the States. A lot of players have certainly gone down to Mexico to play their online poker.
They're certainly exiting quicker in the PLO than they did in this one. In the off, we've lost Andreas Oida from Canada in 12th spot, and that means a pay jump now for the guys in the PLO. They're all guaranteed $140. Didn't mention there's $1,373 up top for the PLO tonight.
Sweet.
Down to 11 now. So the idea is we'll watch this to a conclusion and then and jump across, or we end up may actually flicking between the two depending on how things are playing out. No whole cards tonight, guys. It's just we're just following the action from the lobby. But if you want to give a shout out to anyone, or you're railing anybody in this, then do so, or just to chat about anything you like. Des and I'll answer questions. Normally do. We can cover most subjects, can't we? Really.
Not necessarily well, but we can certainly cover them.
No, definitely not well.
So the old snooker's coming up shortly, Lee. I'm still in the mix.
Oh, have you made your decision?
No, I got an email. Got an email with 3 options. Okay. Option A was, stay in the mix, right? Don't do anything. Just stay in the mix. Option B was request a refund. And option C was transfer to the same event next year. So I've stayed in the mix. They gave me a week or two. Yeah, they gave me a week or two, because I guess what's going to happen is there's going to have to be some sort of draw, right? They're not going to let 800 people into the auditorium. So there will be obviously COVID guidelines in play. I would imagine, maybe 400 or 500 people are going to get in. So there'll have to be some sort of draw. So that will quickly funnel down the options. But I've stayed in the mix. I'm not. I can't. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I'll go to it though.
Can you not just roll it? I think if I was picking an option there, I'd be rolling it forward for next year.
Yeah, I think that's the most obvious
I
one.
think you want to do it, as you said. It's one off the bucket list.
Yeah,
so you
they said
don't.
They said don't. You know, if you're not absolutely clear in terms of what you want to do, just stay in the mix. And if you don't get drawn out, you'll be offered one of the other two options. And if you do get drawn out, you'll be offered one of the three options. So
Fair enough. Okay, so you can still say no. It's okay. Actually, I've decided I don't want it. Yeah. Oh, we'll do that then. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. So Stefan Fisher is in the chat. Evening, guys, and good luck to Mark and Nikki.
Good evening, Stefan. Just home from work, Lee.
Yes, he did tell us last night, didn't he?
That's
yes,
right.
That would be the case. So,
as he exited late last night, one of the three players that we named and balked.
We did a good job. Yeah.
It took about 10 minutes to wipe that entire subset of players out.
But that wasn't too bad timing last night. I think it finished around midnight UK time, so it would have been 1 a.m. Central European. So for Stefan and the guys, which feels about right on a Sunday night for those that have got to work on a Monday. I think I do quite like the 2-day structure of it. You play for the No Limit Hold'em, this main event. You play for about 5 hours on a Sunday night, and then if you're in the top two tables, you get to come back and refreshed and give it a go for the serious money. And there is $3,684 up top.
Nice
winner of this.
Gustavo popped a little raise in there, Lee. Richard pushed all in over the top and has taken it down.
Yeah, so I think it's quite nice that you I mean, the difference is, I suppose, you could be playing with this sort of structure. I'm just talking UK times here, but you could be playing until 3 a.m.
Sunday night,
after 8 hours of poker. I think when you're playing for the big, the bigger levels, certainly for what's a $55 buy-in, for some players they've satellited in for $5.50, and as Tony Ross mentioned, he used his leaderboard ladders ticket to get into this effectively for free roll in. When you're playing for the big money, I think you want to have a little level of kind of refreshed and be focused on what you're doing. It's very difficult to do that 8 hours in. So Gunter says, saw the upgrading games and late leaderboards. Going to be nice to play the events and try to ladder. Well, I've got every confidence Gunter will be on that leaderboard at some point and working his way up through the steps in the coming weeks. But of course, for everyone that makes a step up, Des, somebody's got to make a step down. That's just life. That's how it works.
Until someday you reach God level. Like Jamie O'Connor.
Yeah, that's dial me up, baby. Dial me up.
Sorry, Lee, I've lost connection. Lee.
Yeah.
Oh, the good old days. Do you remember
this
the dial-up, Lee?
Nikki's all in on a 9-4-6 board. Mark had made a bet at 100,000. It's another 800,000 to Mark. He's not going to make the calls. 20% of his stack. And decides no, thank you.
Well, Mark has distributed just over 1 million chips around the table. There isn't anybody in a huge amount of trouble at the moment. Tim's decided to get them in. He's lost 1 million chips himself in the last few hands. He gets a couple of folds. He takes that down.
The thing is, I mean, there's a blinds go up to 50,000, 100,000 now. So there's 240,000 in the middle. So even if you've now got a stack of a million and a bit, you're adding 20% to your 25% to your stack.
Yeah.
By stealing the blinds at this point when we're 7-handed.
And if one of the shorties doubles another of the shorties, they're going to go up to like 3rd place in chips. So interesting dynamic at the moment.
We're getting retro APAT Show comments, Des. Gunter says Mike Postle mode with rather to laddering, and Pete Wigglesworth says any dry toast about.
That's funny right there.
great thing is that for those of us that have been with the with the APAT show for we're a year in now of doing this.
Oh, dude, it feels it. It
this
feels it and all.
of doing this crazy nonsense every week. But there's a lot of in jokes that actually, if those that have been with us kind of throughout week after week after week would get. And anyone that's reading Pete Wigglesworth saying any dry toast about would have,
what the hell is that guy on?
Would have no idea whatsoever. And if we even played you the vid that would go with that to make any sense of it, you probably would be even more confused than you were to start with.
I have to say, Lee, I have been thinking, could we do a retrospective of the year? What was the best sort of 10 or 15 minutes of each episode? Because there were some funny discussions. I mean, there were some just downright funny moments through the year, I have to say.
It's but it's very much as helping everybody else get through lockdown. I think it's got Des and I through lockdown. So that's for sure.
Definitely.
As Gustavo takes that one down, and very much has got the chip lead now at 4.4 million. We're still 7-handed, and they've got steadied off in the PLO now. There's 11 players left in that. Kai is still the chip leader, and I'm
going to see if
Harry Styles is long lost uncle Barry.
Barry Styles, lovely.
Barry Styles, yeah. He's only going in one direction.
Oh, carry on, why don't you?
Yeah, dear, oh dear, yeah.
Okay, we have the PLO up.
So Yuri's going to bet into this. I mean, it's a rotten flop there, really, you'd imagine. He'd opened up originally. Richard was in the big blind, sorry.
Kai, playing the PLO, but he's just added to comments. I liked it when you rang me up and made me play a game. I had absolutely no idea what was going on. That's the Firmino game. I remember he commented about Firmino partway through the game.
So the idea was he wasn't the first person we've got. So we had somebody arranged to call, but they wouldn't answer for some reason. And so we just went, well, we'll just call Kai, shall we? Who didn't actually have a clue what was going on with it.
We knew he'd be game for it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And he did okay, actually.
I think he did, yeah.
Yeah. But you expect that from these teachers. They know they can do their quizzes.
They can
indeed.
Know
what they're doing. Yeah. As I said last night, Phil Cole's on a Friday night with our weekly quiz. He knows a lot of stuff.
So Steve is saying a lot of my Wildcat players have built APAT games into the schedules. Nice structures, often recognized. He fancies being fun from squads with the growth. So that's good. Yeah. So it's good to see the recognized faces, right? It's just,
I think I think real names has makes a massive difference to it, because it just makes it easier. I mean, not that you can't you know players from their aliases and that kind of thing, but just the fact that it's just real names there and you just get on with it.
Peter is saying Barry Styles lives near Oxford. I believe he's a greyhound trainer. I might be very wrong in saying this. I might be incredibly wrong, but I seem to remember Barry could have been a player on Sky Poker when I was back at Sky Poker way back a decade ago. I think Barry used to play Sky Poker back then. Maybe still does.
Quite possibly.
If it's the one and same. Oh, hello. Here we go. It's a race.
Ace King versus sevens. It's the sevens that are at risk, and Gustavo's hit his ace. And we're going to lose Nicky, unfortunately.
Unlucky Nicky.
Yeah, you need to win your flips at this point, and and isn't it often the way that it's the chip leader that seems to win their races when it matters at this point of the tournament? And Gustavo goes to over 6 million in chips. Very next hand, Jens makes the shove from under the gun. As I say, the thing is like over 300,000 in chips in the middle now, so it's worth scooping him up if you can, and he takes that one down. So yeah, very well done to Nicky. Finishes in 7th place, picking up $545, which means it's a pay jump now. So the 6 remaining players are guaranteed $670. We've lost Roland Egrisitz from Austria in the PLO. Roland was 2nd in chips.
Sounds like it's a bit spicy over there.
Yeah, he was second in chips going into this day 2, and has busted in 11th place. John Murray is clinging on in 10th. Shug is in 9th. It's just exactly where you'd expect to see them both, isn't it? In the nicest possible way.
The only person we're missing there is Frank Bailey.
Yeah, they are both absolute stalwarts of APAT, but then utmost respect to them both. That you don't ever see them run away chip leaders. They'll go deep and they'll win events. Don't get me wrong, but it always feels like it's a grind. It's the style of play that works for them. You won't find Frank, Des. He's busy crowdfunding. He's
trying to find that 1.5 million.
His bid to buy APAT that he offered us last night. So he's busy. He's busy put his crowdfunding up for it. Apparently, the first 100 that make an offer will get a baseball cap. Apparently, it's what he said. And if you want the platinum package, you can get a beanie as well. So
amen. Get it done.
It's all about the merch.
That's right. But remember, guys, if you go for the full diamond package, you get Lee and I on dog collars.
Oh, you offered that last night, didn't you? Yes, I remember now. Yes. Mark's in with the kings, and it's Yuri with the 8s. It's the 8s at risk, and it's gonna be Yuri that busts in 6th place, and that's a big stack of chips going to Mark. This is what it's all about. It's now about timing with your cards. Nothing wrong with kind of either of the plays. Their Mark could open it up, and the shove from Yuri in the big blind.
Shug is in the chat saying, "Hey, I was chip leader for a long time yesterday." Yeah, that's what we mean, Shug. That's what we mean.
Yeah.
Good luck, sir. Good luck, sir. And Yanni's out there looking for tips. The Greyhound trainer tips. And Mr. Ralph gives him a woof woof in response.
Yeah, exactly. So Yuri finished with $670 in 6th place, and so pay jump again. So we're up to $840 now, Des, for the top 5. Starting to get real serious money for a $55 buy-in comp.
Yeah, it's really sort of moved on at pace here over the last 10-15 minutes, hasn't it?
Yeah, and what you've got here now is you've got the 2 big chip stacks in Mark and Gustavo, who were 1 and 2 going into this. At the start of day 2, Mark was chip leader, Gustavo was second. Jens is still the one that was one of the short stacks going into this day 2, has really moved up. And Tim's been nursing a short stack. He was the shorts 16th of 16 going into this day 2, and has made it into the final 5. But it's all Richard's all in with King Queen. He's going to need to hit. He's not going to actually. It's Jack 7 he's up against. He's not going to hit at all. He just needs to avoid a Jack or a 7, and he does, and gets a double up through Gustavo. Very much needed double up for Richard.
Yeah, Gustavo looks like he wants to be involved in every hand at this point. He's doing what big stacks should do.
Yeah, and he's been called by Mark out of the big blind.
This is perhaps the one hand that I think he'll be
this
a little.
Is where I would say you'd
of.
expect it to slow down, but Mark's checked at Gustavo, and he has made a sensible continuation bet, I think, which has got a call from Mark. There's now over 1 million chips in the middle here. They're both playing about just over 5 million each.
Mark checks again, so he's playing it slow here, Lee.
Yeah, I don't think either are going to do anything too silly.
Well, he's got a decision
Gustavo
now, Mark.
makes it 700,000, 70% of the pot.
We get another call.
Mark's flat made the call again to nearly 2.5 million in the middle now.
That club may slow him down a bit, though. Oh no, it doesn't.
Oh, Mark checks again to see if he could get Gustavo to make a bet on the river, and it was a super quick check from Gustavo. There was no nonsense there whatsoever, and Mark had the nuts.
Nice hand, got there.
Flopped top pair with the flush draw. And he was probably ahead. I'm going to guess was ahead all the way down that actually, and got paid off very nicely. Didn't at any point feel like re-raising or anything. Just happily check called all the way down to the river, and then tried to get one more out of it. Maybe a bet on the river might have been a better option, but it's easy to say after the event. Man down in the Omaha. We've lost John Murray in 10th place.
Lucky John.
John picks up $140. And it's a pay jump now to 167 for the remaining 9 players. Shug is working his way. He's working through the gears. Best way to describe it, Des. He's working through the gears. He's now 6th of 9. So sights firmly set on that top spot that's currently still held by Kai Hutchison.
Well, I suspect there'll be bumps in the road for all concerned prior to an end result happening there. Hills and troughs.
So Mark says Gustavo had 10-9 of hearts.
I can't remember the board now. Obviously, hearts wasn't a factor.
No.
Perhaps he was on a straight draw.
Yeah.
So Gustavo, first to act in this hand.
So I just missed Kai's comment from 5 minutes ago where he said, I can confirm the PLO is lively. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but certainly Kai has been adding to his stack. He's nearly doubled his stack from the start of day 2.
Good shape.
Space of 35 minutes.
Listen, Jans is all in here. We're now with Tim on small blind.
Very difficult for Tim to make a call here. The small blind.
Well, he does make a call.
He does.
With ace 10.
He's gone for it with ace 10. He's on a race, needs to hit.
And he does.
And he does on the turn.
Wow.
And he's going to, it's basically role reversal. Jens and Tim. And wow, great call from Tim. Even the ace 10, Des, in this small blind there, when we're 5-handed.
That's a decent hand.
You're thinking, well, am I making a move here? I mean, is the guy shoving with ace king, ace queen, ace jack? Am I going to be dominated? It's a brave call.
I just think 15 or 20 minutes ago, maybe you don't make the call, but I think, the table's really quickened up over the last 10 or 15 minutes. I think ranges have got wider. I think you're more likely to make the call because those blinds are going through you quickly now.
Yeah. Well, I just mentioned that the Omaha, John Murray bust in 10th. Well, it looks like nobody wants to, they've all decided enough's enough now. So Sebastian Posch has bust in 9th. Austin Marks has bust in 8th. That's back-to-back German exits, which means we are 7 players left and we have a final table.
Wow. Okay. Well,
which is dominated by players from the UK. It's 6 players from the UK and Victor Engström from Sweden. That is your final 7.
Well, there they are. So if you want to talk us through them, Lee, I mean, maybe just do a quick
so
name
Chip
check
Leader's Kai Hutchison, 1.7 million. Barry Styles has got just over $1 million. Then we're down to just over $500,000. Stephen Ralph has been in the chat earlier on tonight. He's got 564,000. Then Victor, who I mentioned from Sweden, 350,000. Tim Brown with 280,000. Shug Kenny with 243,000, and Gary Phillips is only just the short stack with 231,000. These guys now are all guaranteed $200. There is $1,373 up top, and of course medals for the top 3.
Fantastic. Great. So we'll try and keep an eye on both of those, depending on where the action is.
Yeah. Meanwhile, there's 2.6 million in the middle, of which 1 million of that is Gustavo making a bet on this river. Does this look familiar?
Well, I'm seeing all those hearts and I'm thinking, wow, again?
Decision on Mark.
Yeah, let's go this time.
Fold this time.
It's really, I mean, I know it's obvious, but it's hard to see anyone other than Mark and Gustavo ending up heads up here because I think the two guys have played brilliantly throughout. Yeah, they just haven't left too many gaps for the other players to challenge.
No, not really. And with blinds at 60, 60,000, 120,000 now. So Jens is down playing 5 bigs. Richard's playing what about eight bigs. Tim's a little bit better situation, about 17. So yeah, it's got a bit more about him. But yeah, it feels like Jens certainly is just in a case of going to be needing to shove his 5 bigs at some point.
Tell you what we're going to do, Lee. We're going to switch the PLO for a few hands. Let's just see how the lads are playing, and we'll ensure that we do get back to the No Limit Hold'em prior to it getting too fruity there.
Yes, we've got a hand here already with Stephen Ralph and Barry Styles, second and third in chips, and Stephen takes that down with a full house.
Full house, aces and kings. Nice.
Yeah, wow. So nice hand for Stephen as we joined that. Meanwhile, in the they're all in the No Limit Hold'em, and Tim's got a double up with his 8s against Gustavo Pinto. Yeah. So
Rich is all in now.
Rich is all in.
Yeah. The table.
Surprised, yeah, because he's only got 8 bigs. I'm surprised there wasn't a call from the chip stack. It feels like an NE2 card call from the big blind there, but
Jans is effectively all in here.
Yeah, but no, neither of the big stacks want to make the call.
And Richard folds his option. Well, as soon as we switch tables, everybody starts folding.
Yeah, funny that. Yeah, it's
we've slowed it down.
It's the showbox.
Look, you guys get back to playing, or else we're going to start predict some winners here, and you don't want that.
Yeah, you don't need your name mentioned. So in the Hold'em, Tim's raised under the gun, and it's been 3-bet by Mark, made it up to 6 bigs. Everyone else has got it the way. I was wondering whether one of the short stacks was going to maybe have a see it as an opportunity to get your chips in and look for more than a double up there. But
well, Tim's got a bit of an investment here. Oh wow,
Tim's gone all in.
Wow, great play.
Mark lets it go.
Strong. That was strong.
So Tim, our short stack at the start of this day, is now pretty much neck and neck for the chip lead. Meanwhile, in the Omaha, Kai is all in against Tim Brown and has turned the nut flush, and that is going to mean we lose Tim Brown in 7th place, and Kai adds to his stack.
Unlucky Tim. Good game.
And we're down to 6 in that one. With a hand, a pot building here already. Stephen Ralph made it 35,000. Barry's called that. Kai has called that. We're round to Gary Phillips in the big blind. He's called it as well. So there's 160,000 in the middle, and the flop is ace 6 ace. 4 players. I reckon there might be an 8 out there somewhere. Quite possibly. There could be a pair of 6s as well. Who knows?
We're getting incredible stick in the chat box, Lee. Incredible stick. We're getting Stefan. You can't show both. Thank you, lads, from Stephen. Kai, switch tables quick. Stephen, lads, you're missing the actions.
The trouble is, we could put both tables up, but the point is, I don't know how many people are following the actual the tables or whatever, but we can still only talk about one of them at any one time. It's like, yeah, unless I'll talk. Do you ever remember? You might not remember this, but we did so when we used to do live events, remember that? It was a thing, honestly.
Live events, explain it to me.
So we'd stream the live events. I remember one time we were at Aspers in Stratford with the World Championships, and we're streaming. And so I used to do a lot of the commentary on the tables, and occasionally we'd get people in or whatever, and we had two wireless mics set up, so you'd be there holding your mic and chatting away. And I remember John Murray and Steve just said they'd do a little bit of commentary for us. So it's like, yeah, cool, that'll work very well. Well, I've just assumed they'd know to be commentating on the same table. But what ended up happening is one would go wandering off to another side table, and they'd both be talking about the action on the two tables, even though we only had cameras on the one table, and everybody was at home trying to work out what's going on here. You know, it's just,
one was what you call live reporting from the venue.
yes. So
the other was doing the feature table.
The Welsh tones of Steve Roderick on the one table, and the Irish hum of John Murray on another table, with nobody quite knowing what was happening.
Oh, I tell you what, listen, Lee, I'm going to have to find a way to put both tables up. So give me a mo. I'll put us on, then we'll have both tables. Okay, there we go. Ah, the troubles that I go to.
That's what it's all about. It's what the people want. That's the thing.
It's what the people want, Lee.
What the people want.
Oh, no, I can only fit. Oh, no. Well, the people aren't going to be happy with this.
Oh, you're missing all the action, Des. Quick,
don't
get back
say
to the
that, Lee.
tables.
I
Quick,
can't
get
deal
back to
with
the
the
tables.
pressure.
It's a four-way all in. No, it's all happening.
Oh. There we go. That's
but we have two. It's a two all in, and it's going to get called by Gustavo. It's a three-way all in the Hold'em. He's got to call. I can't believe Gustavo's not going to call out the big blind. Jens is all in for 4.7 big blinds.
Oh,
Richard
shit.
Brunning is all in for 5.9, and he has made the call. It's aces versus ace queen versus 10-7. Gustavo's hit his 10. He's going to need to hit another 10 or a 7. He doesn't, and Richard Brunning rivers the flush. The ace of spades on the river.
Wow.
And we lose. What a hand. We lose Jens in fifth place, and Richard Brunning gets a triple up pretty much. Up to 16 bigs now. What a hand.
Well, remarkably, I think we got all of that, Lee.
Excellent stuff. Incredible hand there. Jens was short stack, had less than 5 bigs, so was always waiting for a chop, and he had aces and was in a really good spot until it went the spades hit and Richard picked up the pot. So Jens finished in 5th place, picking up $839, which means we are 4 players left, and these guys are all guaranteed over $1,000 now.
So we're on the medal bubble.
Only three of them can take home a medal. That's the way it works. But yeah, all guaranteed, just shy of $1,200 now. So what you're looking at now is the No Limit Hold'em main event, $20,000 in the prize pool. That's down to 4 players, as blinds have just gone up to 80,000, 160,000. And on the right-hand side is the final table of the PLO main event. That's got $5,000 in the prize pool, and that is down to 6 players. Blinds are 7,000, 14,000 in that. And we'll try and keep an eye and let you know what's happening on both of them.
Ross Freeman's in the chat with an ABK. ABK. Anyone but Kai. Right, that's got to be anyone but Kai. I'm sure it is.
Yeah. And Kai says, here we go. And Ross says, well, you shared the stream. You reap what you sow. That's what it's all about.
It's just the biggest home game on Party Poker tonight.
So amazing comeback from Tim Rufquist.
Nice, yeah.
Short stack of 16 going into this day 2, and is now really gone through the gears. Originally it was a case of just shoving and getting a double up, and got about 2 or 3 of those, I think, but definitely picked the right spots to do that, and has now got he's got the chip lead, and is really just playing super aggressive,
respecting no one. He is just going over the top of anyone. It's good play.
Yeah, it is very, very good. But it's the It's Mark and Gustavo that are at it again with just over 1 million in chips here in the pot, but slow down. But we know that they've both got the ability to fire out a river bet, irrelevant of whether they've got it or not.
Detail.
Yeah, that doesn't really matter. But yeah, do let us know in the chat, guys. Who are you guys fancying? Four players left, all very much still in the mix. It's Mark that does fire out that bet this time, and it's Gustavo that folds. And Mark goes back up over just over 5 million chip. Stefan Fisher says, "Let's go, Mark." So Tim is from Sweden, Mark is from the Netherlands, Gustavo is from Brazil, and Richard Brunning is playing out of Mexico. And it's a lot easier on the PLO side because other than Victor Engström from Sweden, the rest are all UK players. UK, the hotbed of 4-card poker action.
You say that, I say cheap postage.
Yeah, very much so. Yes. we just do like click and collect, don't we?
That's a Deliveroo job.
Much, yeah, just say send somebody out on a bike just to drop it off. Next time they're having an order. Next time they're getting their McDonald's delivered. You can do that now. You can deliver, but get McDonald's delivered.
I know. Yeah, I know.
So, McDonald's are opens and gyms are still shut. I mean, if somebody ever wants to explain to me how that works, I'd love to know.
Well, you see, when the tribe is behind bars, it's all about comfort food, right? That's what we're doing.
That's very true. Not had takeout in a year.
Really?
Not a single. Not ordered in a single bit of takeout in 12 months. Not that we do much anyway.
You live good, my friend.
Not that we do much anyway. I mean, we never. It's not something we normally do anyway. But obviously, everyone's talked about reliant on takeout. And Sunday afternoons, they're queuing around the McDonald's drive-through. They're queuing to get into the car park to go and pick up their. I don't know. What is it like? The replacement for a Sunday roast or something? I'm not quite sure what it is.
No, I can't imagine.
It's very, very strange. They do, but they also do that at the Starbucks, where there's a drive-through thing as well. They're queuing around the car park to get into that as well. It's very peculiar. So Kai still chip leader in the PLO. Lost a bit of his stat though. He had over 2 million at one point. It's down to 1.6 at the moment.
It's all gone a bit quiet over there.
Yeah, well, you've got three guys on the right hand side there. Kai with 1.6, Barry with 1.2, and Stephen Ralph with about 1.1, and then Shug, Victor, and Gary on the left hand side that are all playing under 200k. So they've got about Victor and Shug have got about 10 bigs, and Gary's got even less than that, about 4.
Nice to see Gary back at the final table. Gary's from Roslana Krukog.
It's no need to be rude.
Yeah, I got to trust me on that. Same village as Sean. Roslana
Very
Krukog.
impressive, though. That's very impressive pronunciation.
Well, I'm not convinced I'm rolling those L's like, gutturally like I should be.
You're not rolling your L's like a pro. No, it's a good effort though, and obviously, coming from a Welsh household like you do.
Well,
understandable.
Our daughter is Gwen, right? So you would pronounce her full name as Gwenllian if you were, let's say, English, but Gwenllian is the Welsh pronunciation. Yes, Gwenllian.
Of course, and she's from a Six Nation championship winning nation.
Oh, steady on, please. Steady on. You were one red card away from being the second best country in the Six Nations this year. One red card.
At least we weren't the 5th best, eh? Yeah, that's.
Oh, it's all gone wrong, but I tell you what, they're just timing it perfectly for the next World Cup. I've said it before; they'll come back with an amazing crop of players for the English. This is
Yeah. Oh
for the
no,
next World
no
Cup.
doubt. Yeah, no doubt about it. That's for sure. So yeah, Gustavo's now say drop down in chips here, and this is Tim and Mark.
Yeah, we've got 1.2 million in the pot.
Going at it. Yeah.
Tim adds to that.
And as you mentioned earlier on, Tim is taking no prisoners here now. Really is getting super aggro with the bets. But Mark's made that call as well. 2 million in the middle.
I see a diamond roll off on the end. That might slow somebody down.
It is blind on blind. And it's a big size bet from Tim. And
Tim's
Mark,
got it. Tim hit the flush.
Had the diamonds and hit on the river. Now that's putting Tim just shy of 10 million in chips. He's got a huge. He's pretty much got twice the other three players combined. Getting close towards that.
Oh God, it's these guys in the chat, Lee. They're awful. We just got to ban them. What is this? Steve says, say it again with marbles in your mouth. That's right. You need that aggressive sort of those rolling those L's. Goes with smooth tones. Yeah. Oh, that's too funny.
So Mark says he has it. Mark said ace king. Yeah, so very difficult. But Tim is now in pole position here. Four-handed.
That's an incredible turnaround.
Yeah, amazing. It really is. He started the day with 279,000. Gary's all in the PLO up against Stephen.
He needs a. Oh no, he's not going to get it.
A pair of aces for Stephen will be enough, and that will take. How often do you see that happen? You get it in with aces in PLO, and then literally that's what wins.
Not often. Gary returns to a Rosalana Krukog.
So Gary departs in sixth, picking up $243, and there are 5 of them left now. And actually, Shug's in as well against Victor. It's the 2 shorter stacks, and it's going to be full house for Victor, which means Shug is going to depart in 5th, and we are four-handed. So we're on the medal bubble on both of these tables now.
Lucky Shug and Gary. Good run, both of you.
Yeah. So Shug picks up $312, which means 4 players left now are guaranteed $424 in the PLO, which is on the right-hand side, with 1,373 up top as players are just about to go on a break at 5 to the hour. And on the No Limit Hold'em on the left-hand side, guaranteed $1,190 with 3,684 up top.
Oh, there we go.
And, we're on a break. We are on a 5-minute break.
We're on a break. I'll tell you what we'll do for a minute of that break.
I can't call this though, Des. Either of these. I mean, it's just. I mean, Tim's come from absolutely nowhere in this Hold'em. Just absolutely come from nowhere to have a huge chip lead. Kai has been chip leader of the PLO from the start of day 2, but he's not a million miles ahead of Barry and Stephen. Victor is obviously very much the short stack there, but.
I think it's particularly difficult in the PLO, right? For absolutely the reason that you've said. 3 of the players there are pretty evenly matched. I mean, Kai's still got a few additional chips, but it's one hand, right? But you'd have to say Tim, just based on his change of gears and his it's just his chip lead, your strong favourite in the Hold'em. Now look, he's going to have some hands hold up, make no mistake, but he's changed gears. That's been pretty in the
obvious. Chat. Mark has just said, Mark Roovers just said, I need that medal, he says. And Stefan Fisher has said, I understand it's a big thing for amateur poker players, the medal.
Oh, the medal is huge. So, let's see if we can get our hands on one. That's a gold behind me. Can I do that? Oh, look at that. That's a gold. They're slightly larger, slightly larger than that.
Than your fingertip, yeah.
This is the silver. So let's hope you don't get that one. But nonetheless, they are pretty spectacular. They're very large, and they are.
That's
very
that's
heavy.
the one thing that that people who've never haven't won an APAT medal before. So they win their first one, and it turns up in the post, and it's normally oh wow, I wasn't expecting it to be quite that big.
Yeah.
They're more like a kind of the size of a kind of a mug, aren't they? That you could, they use them as a coaster. But people think, oh, I'll use it as a card guard, and they're like, well, no, they're a bit bigger than.
Yeah, they're too big.
Use it as a card guard.
If you go to peace protests or anything like that, they're ideal weapons. Put one in a sock.
Yeah, and breaking news, Des. Breaking news. Acer is in the chat, and apart from saying evening all, he says it's just been announced that Aguero is leaving at the end of the season.
Now the question would be, where is he going to? Because there might be one or two interested parties in Aguero in the Premier League. I suspect he might end up going back to South America. But
is his contract up?
Yeah.
So is he available to go on a freebie? In which case, then there's lots of suitors. If it isn't a case of that, and he's just said, actually, I've had I'm assuming his contract, he's just not renewing his contract, I presume. So therefore he's got the option. I mean, you might find somebody that's not got much money at the moment. The likes of a Barcelona might say, well, come another couple of years playing for us.
The only problem is he hasn't played much football this year, and he is getting on a bit. There's a real danger Barcelona just filling themselves up with slightly older players.
But you can't tell me that he wouldn't. The only reason he's not been playing is fitness. But if he was fit, he's got another couple of years in him for definitely. Ace is saying contract not being renewed. So
well, remember, Lee, he got that infamous goal against QPR. It was like 2012, so like 9 years ago.
Yeah,
he's getting on a bit.
Around for a while, but
Great
probably
player.
doesn't get the credit he deserves in the Premier League.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I think he's had a ton of respect. But there wasn't because of the way City played this year, bouncing back from last year, without him, without a sort of a recognisable number 9, he probably he's had a bit of a. There haven't been a lot of people saying, "Where's Aguero? We need to get Aguero back," and that's a shame. That's a shame. But I think that's where he finds himself. And you're right. I'm sure he would do a good job for a team. But there's quite a few of those types of players about to become available. Suarez is another one. Just magnificent player. But
they'll do a job. One of them will end up at United because we seem to like taking.
You like a mid. You like a mid 30-year-old striker.
We love her. Yeah,
with a
exactly.
limp.
That just wants
pull into the left.
Wants a couple of years, and I'm surprised. We let Ibrahimovic go. Would have been perfect for another. We've got another.
What did you make
of out of him? Yeah.
Of Murtaugh getting rid of Nicky Butt within a couple of days of being appointed? Surprise you or surprise you?
It's very strange. I don't quite know what's going on.
Timing was odd. Of course, it could have been Nicky Butt went for the technical director's role, didn't get it, and felt I can't maintain my position here.
Yeah,
who knows?
I still think there's still a lot going on in the background. There's players are back after the break, so there's a lot still going on there. I don't think it's necessarily. So Ace has just said it just seems likely we'll be splashing out on a major striker then. Well, I can only think of one major striker that's worth splashing out on at the moment, and City certainly have the money for him. I do think whoever gets him is going to be in a very strong position.
I really like to go to City.
Yeah,
I think he's going to go to United.
Do you really think? I don't think he will.
I think if I was United, I'd buy him. It's time they bought a leading striker.
I agree, but I think if he had a choice and it was United or City, if City were going to be in for him, then I mean, you're going to take City every day of the week, aren't you?
The only thing you'd have to say though is Kane has gotten used to being the main man, and he is not going to be the main man at Man City. I mean, he'll be an impressive part of an impressive roster, but he won't be any more important than Phil Foden or Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah, the trouble with Kane is that you're talking, say he's 28 now. Yeah, I mean, the type of game he plays, how many more years has he got playing that type of level of, as the way he plays as a striker? Probably maybe 3 or 4. Whereas I think Haaland is a no-brainer for
Oh, completely agree with that. Haaland
You've
is the
you've got
catch of the
Haaland
summer.
you've got Haaland for a decade, haven't you? Comfortably.
Oh, you've got Haaland for as long as Mina says you've got Haaland. No longer.
Well, yeah, that's the trouble. As Asa just says, though, actually, you mentioned the 2011-12 team, so that will mean Aguero is the last one of that Man City squad still in the club.
Wow.
So that'll be it. 9 years on. Nobody left from that 2012. Wow, that's quite surprising.
I'm trying to think whether there's anyone left at Liverpool that would have been there in 2012. I don't think there is.
Yeah, maybe you do get more of a turnaround these days.
9 years.
Possibly.
It's a long. Yeah, it's a fair old period of time at top for a top level team.
So bet from Mark here, 1.2 million in the middle, and he's bet out 490,000. Gustavo should put him all in. Mark's folded. I mean, Mark did say in the chat before the break, said, don't tell the other guys, but I'm folding to a medal. Well, he's now put himself in a bit of a tricky situation because he's now got 5 bigs. Shoves them all in from the small blind and gets that one through. But he is now the short stack here. Mark is. And so he might want to be folding to a medal, but I don't think he's going to be that straightforward now.
Well, sometimes
he's just got himself in a couple of tricky spots, really.
I think
done a huge amount wrong.
I think sometimes
really.
I think sometimes
it's all in ace queen for Richard, and it's Tim with the ace 4, and it's going to be a double up for Richard, which dents Tim's stack a little bit. But that even more makes it tricky for Mark now because both Gustavo and Richard are now playing, 3 million and 4 million. Tim has got nearly 8 million in chips, and Mark is there with just 1 million, which is only 6.5 bigs. You'd imagine these guys are going to target his big blind. Richard does raise it up from the button. And Tim says, okay, I'm just going to go all in. What are you guys going to do? Tim flicks the switch back on Des to aggro mode. Right, well, I'm just going to use my stack to its maximum advantage. Mark is all in from the small blind. Is Gustavo going to make the call from the big blind this time? No, he doesn't. So all Mark's doing is standing still there the past 2 hands when he shoved from the small blind. Effectively, he's just keeping himself at that million level.
Yeah, I mean, the challenge that he has now is that he's all in every other hand. And, of course, he's going to get a call.
Time by Gustavo. It's queen 10 for Mark. That's at risk.
2 live cards.
King 9. Needs to hit a queen or a 10.
Oh, there he goes.
He's hit his queen on the turn. Avoid a king, and he does. And it's a double up for Mark.
He'll take that.
Yeah, he's got to be happy with that. Really has. What I guess he's got to do now, though, is keep applying the pressure and keep the aggro up. There's no point sitting tight. And so he shoves. And is Tim going to make the call from the big blind? He doesn't. That's what he's got to do. If Mark wants to get back in this, as much as he'd like a medal, don't get me wrong, they are lovely. But you also want to look at those big numbers up top. You're guaranteed $1,200, but there's $1,782 for third place, $2,500 for second place, and $3,684 up top. You've got to be playing for the win at this point in the tournament.
There's a big hand brewing on the other table, Lee. Kai's got a decision. He's got 244 invested. Stephen's got over the top to 837.
Yeah, deuce 5-4 rainbow is the board. And Kai's effectively done it. It's going to be called. And Stephen had flopped the straight. And Kai had flopped the lower end of it. Oh, goodness me. What a horrible, horrible hand.
Ouch.
Both flopped the straight. But Stephen had the deuce to the 6 and Kai had the ace to the 5. Wow. Put Stephen a massive chip leader now there with over 2 million in chips. That's a pretty sick flop for that. Both hit the straight, Des.
Yeah.
And there's no flushing going on there. So it's yeah,
that's horrible.
You can see where the chips go in. So Mark Roovers in the chat says, yeah, love the medal. He said also would like the 3.2K as well. Yeah, exactly. So with 800,000 in the pot, Mark and Richard are going at it. They both literally got identical stacks, 1.966 and 1.956. So only 10,000 between them. Richard bets out 240,000. And Mark makes the call. We've seen Mark play this quite a lot of the kind of the check calling. Does it again on the turn and checks it to. Is Richard going to have another bash at this? He's all in. So decision back on Mark for his stack.
He's having a think.
10, 7, 4 deuce, 2 diamonds.
Hard to see Mark in the pot with any of those cards, apart from maybe the 10. Are you calling there with a couple of 10s, Lee?
Yeah, if I think if I got a 10, I probably am. But the tricky thing here is that so Mark was in the big blind, so Richard was on the button. So I mean, it could be that Mark was. I mean, I'd put Mark on a straight draw maybe there.
Yeah.
It's a kind of the sort of hand. You've got some sort of connecting hands there, and you've had a look, and yeah, maybe he's was on a straight, which is why the check call on the flop. But I think if Richard's shoving there on the turn, it's very difficult for Mark to make a call there. As Gustavo shoves from the small blind and gets that through.
Well, I tell you what, it's been a bit of drama on the medal bubble, as there tends to be.
Both of these on the medal bubble at the moment, and nobody wants to be busting in fourth yet. They'll pick up a nice bit of cash, but it means they'll miss out on the bling.
And we've said it many times: the money goes. The medal is always there. You just can't buy them. You've got to win them. Unless
you know Chris Webber's eBay account, in which case you probably can buy them.
I've yet to see one go on eBay.
No, they certainly don't. That is for sure. There are plenty of APAT players that have got little kind of trophy cabinets or set up as Victor's all in against Barry Styles, and that's going to be the end of Victor, which means all 3 medals in the PLO are going to go to the UK as Victor Engström from Sweden exits in 4th place, picking up $425, which means these guys on the right-hand side in the PLO now are all guaranteed $600. It's $880 for 2nd place and $1,373 up top. And we're still on the medal bubble in the 20K guaranteed no limit hold'em. Mark is all in and gets that one through.
And officially, Lee, the PLO, which started an hour later, has now passed the hold'em in terms of number of players left.
And it's getting quicker than that because
we've lost Kai.
Barry's just bust Kai. Kai finishes in 3rd place. Barry had hit a flush. I think Kai was all in there with 3 aces in his hand, I think, if what I saw was right. But Kai is going to pick up the bronze medal. Very well done to you, Kai. Bronze medal and $600. That'll buy him a bit of chocolate for the Easter break. That'll do all right. And we're heads up, fairly even stacks. Barry Styles and Stephen Ralph playing it out for the PLO championship for March. Good luck to you guys. That's on the right-hand side, and we're still 4-handed in the No Limit Hold'em main. Yeah, so that previous hand, Des, Mark Roovers said I'd have called.
Yeah, I saw that.
A 10. Yeah,
I think so. I think you would.
And Ross Freeman's in the chat saying Kai's blowing up here.
Has he deliberately put that in late? Probably has.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I'd imagine so. The thing with the PLO is it can just, one hand can just go absolutely, the pot can balloon before you know what's going on, and the chips are all in the middle, and somebody's won a hand, and if you're not properly paying attention, you don't actually even see who it is necessarily.
Oh, we've commented before that PLO just happens pretty darn quickly.
Do you remember when we used to
Online.
commentate on the PLO high-low on a Tuesday night, and then we very quickly went, we're not doing that
So
anymore.
I think we did. I think we did it once, and then we got a semi-pro in to do it the next week.
Yeah, so that's not fun. That's not fun. That's
we
hard enough to do
cancelled the
live. Trying to do it when it's online, and you can't say, whoa, dealer, just leave the cards there a second. Right. I just need to work out what's going on.
We just got tired of going, oh no, he's got a
he's got
what's he got there? What's he playing, do you think, there?
Yeah. So Chris Wilson is in the chat and says good luck to Stephen Ralph. So railing Stephen in the PLO here. So for those just joining late, this is both day twos of the main events for March. On the left hand side is the No Limit Hold'em Championship. 20,000 in the price pool for that. We're down to 4 players in that. They're all guaranteed over about $1,200, but there's over 3,500 up top for the winner of that. And the right hand side, it's heads up now in the PLO Championship. Barry Styles versus Stephen Ralph, $880 for second place and 1,373 up top.
I'll tell you what, Richard Brunning is committing himself to this hand here. Actions over to Tim. There's 700k in the pot.
Rich is playing 1.4, so he's only got twice the pot behind.
I think if he plays,
very difficult stack to know what it is best to do, because you kind of feel
wow,
a lot of stuff, and actually Richard
that
goes to showdown, and Richard,
was that a queen high?
Richard wins it effectively with a queen kicker. Yeah,
Jesus wept. Wow, that's
Tim's
really
probably
an interesting
Tim's
hand.
Probably now thinking, I wish I'd found a bet on that river of any sort.
Well, I suppose if you're Richard, just looking at that hand there, because there isn't a huge amount of distance between himself, Mark, and Gustavo, you sort of think, well, why should I pee away, maybe second place money on average with this hand? So playing it patiently.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's decent pay jumps here. So you certainly don't want to give it away too easily. I mean, it's jumping $600 between fourth and third.
Yeah. And I don't know about you, Lee, but for me, that's a Deliveroo delivery. I mean, that's
got to be. It's got to be a late supper for you, isn't it? Surely,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, but it's going to happen now because Richard's all in. It's been called by Tim. It's ace 3 against ace jack. It's the ace 3 at risk. Oh wow, what a flop! Jack, queen, jack. That is good night. Unfortunately, that is Richard Brunning going to finish in fourth place. Richard playing out of Mexico, picking up $1,190. We have our 3 medalists in the No Limit Hold'em main event on the left hand side as you're watching.
And that gentleman dancing around the room is Mark Roovers.
Yeah, absolutely. He's picked up a medal. He's in the chat going medal. Excellent. So Tim Rukquist from Sweden, massive chip leader here, 12.2 million in chips. Gustavo Pinto from Brazil has got 2.3 million chips. And Mark Roovers guaranteed a medal now from the Netherlands, 1.6 million. I think this might get quite lively because they're in the medals now and there's such a chip leader here. The other two haven't really got, well, I say haven't got many options. Obviously it's a pay jump again, Des, so we're talking about $800 between third and second here now. I guess do you see if the other guy is going to go up against Tim and try and get heads up, or how do you choose to play this now?
Oh, it's anybody's guess, really.
But we've paid you to analyze this, Des. Yeah, that's what you're on here for.
I don't know. So I'm here for my looks. And,
is that what it is? Right?
My dress sense and my expertise in the field of Deliveroo.
Oh no, I've just checked the contract. Yes, sorry. Yes, you are the poker totty. My mistake. Yes. Sorry. Yeah.
Tell you what, guys. If I'm the tossy, you're on the wrong channel. Well, Mark's probably happy now. He's talking about the 3.5, but he's over the hurdle there. So a little bit happy at this point. So he's got to be careful that he doesn't just pee it away. I mean, it's just hard to see past Tim, though. He can afford to make like 2 major slip-ups here.
Yeah, I mean, the trouble is Mark is playing, about 5,
He's
6
in trouble. He's in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, I mean, and Tim's obviously doing the right thing is in that small blind there. Just get my chips in. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
You know, if
Yeah,
you're going to take a chance, and he's now firing it again. I mean,
yeah, it's it's 300k around, so it's like it's getting really expensive for Mark.
And I think
Well,
what you're going to find is Gustavo. I'd imagine Tim's going to call with any two he does.
10
Mark
against
just needs to
ace-4.
avoid.
There's
I'm
an
saying
8
needs to
there.
avoid a 10 or an 8.
There's
and then,
another
wow,
8.
That's
It's
that done. That is done. And Mark is going to finish in 3rd place, picking up the bronze medal and $1,782.
Yeah, listen,
from a $55 buy-in, Des.
Great.
That is a
Yeah,
pretty
great.
decent result.
You're
You've
taking
got to
top
be
3.
happy with that.
And you know, the ace looks pretty there. You're going to take your chances with an ace.
Yeah, it's done nothing wrong. And to be fair, with Tim's stack, the 10-8 call, there's nothing wrong with that at all. It really is just one of those things. Obviously, to absolutely smash it with a full house on the turn is pretty brutal.
Yeah.
But he just needed to hit, and he did. And we'll see how quickly now, because I'd imagine Tim's not going to take his foot off the gas here. Gustavo's going to need to get busy with his stack if he wants to try and get back into this and look to take the win.
Mark says, thanks for the stream, guys. Thank you, Mark. Well done tonight.
Good game. Really enjoyed watching that, Mark. I thought you played really, really well. From what we saw, obviously we don't see all the whole cards, so it's difficult to always say, but certainly you didn't seem to put too many mistakes there. Just the cards at the wrong time just didn't really go for you. I think that's all it was. Hopefully we'll be back seeing you on an APAT event soon, and we'll be able to commentate on your play again. It's all in though. 8s versus Queen 8. Gustavo's going to need to hit a queen. Well, at least the other 8s come out. I mean, talk about running well. It is done. How about that for a way to run? Tim Rookfist from Sweden.
Wow.
So this is the story, guys. He's gone. He was 16th of 16, Des, going into this day 2. And he has laddered his way from the short stack to the win.
We saw it coming.
Picking up $3,684 and the APAT gold medal. What about that? That is mighty impressive from Tim. Very, very well done to him. And all we've got left is this heads up in this PLO. That'll be
let's us get done. This up on screen. That was a good game, Lee. That was a really good game. I have to say, really enjoyed that. The Hold'em. Oh, Barry's all in here. Okay, so I read there in chat a couple of minutes ago, Barry's in here from a $5 phase.
Is he really? Excellent.
Nice return on investment, sir.
That's fantastic. Well, we've had a few that have cashed from $5 or even less than $5, and that's the idea. We want you guys to be able to play these with sensible, kind of sensible buy-ins, and if you can get in for the min and come out with a max, as somebody once said, that's a pretty good result, isn't it?
There we go. You're back on screen, Mr. Wilshire.
Excellent stuff. I'm just quickly updating the leaderboard, so I'll be able to confirm who's done what, hopefully, before we get off air tonight. That's my plan anyway.
So we've got the river card has come down now. There's only 100k in the pot. Barry Styles takes a little pop at it. And it's Stephen Ralph that's going to take it down. I think we had a flush there. I can't see the readout of hand results because of the way the table is set up. Stephen's managed to forge sort of a tidy little lead here, Lee. He's got 2.8 million to 1.4 now.
Yeah, it swings around so much playing Omaha. It's so difficult to know kind of how it's going to play out. Blinds are what's 12,500, 25,000. So the guys are sat on. Stephen sat on 120, 130 bigs. Barry's got 50 bigs. I mean, it's
pretty decent shape.
Play. Yeah, so much play at the moment. So this week, Des, we've seen 293 players cash in an APAT event.
It's great.
This week.
To cash, that's brilliant.
Yeah, that's cash. 293 unique players have cashed in an APAT event this week. And don't forget, guys, if you're watching this and thinking, "Oh, wouldn't fancy playing some of these leaderboards or whatever," the first leaderboard games of this week, which is week 4, are already underway. You can still jump into the 8 o'clock PLO8, which has currently got 66 runners, and that's a $5.50 on a Monday night. So it's $5.50 tournaments Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then it goes to $11 on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and on a Sunday we also have 2 of those events at $33. They're the big main events on a Sunday night. All got guarantees against them. So if you want to jump in, there's 66 runners in the PLO8 tonight. There's late reg for about another 10 minutes, I think, on that. So if you fancy getting involved, it's not too late to do that.
Oh, Lee, it's 22 minutes past 9. I said I had to leave at 22 minutes past 9, so I'm just gonna have to turn this off now.
Oh right, okay. Oh well.
Only joking, gents. Only joking. Got a gold medal to win yet.
That's what it's all about. That is what it's all about.
Yeah, this feels like an important pot here, Lee. There's 470k in the middle. Barry's going to take it, but he was down to a bowl of rice at that point.
Oh, this could be it, because I can't think Barry's committed to this, and he's got there with it. Turn the straight.
Wow, and the players are level.
This is the thing with the Omaha. It's so it can move about so easily.
But the chips go in as quickly. Here we go. Barry is super committed again. Oh, here we go. Wow, there it is.
And that's going to be that.
Wow.
It is. And basically three of a kind from Barry. Takes it down, and that is going to be that. So Barry Styles picks up the gold medal and $1,373.
Awesome.
And Stephen Ralph finished in second place. Great performance for him. He picks up $880, and that finished a little bit quicker than I thought it was going to. So it's going to probably beat me to telling you who's in the top 20. But don't worry, we'll post it up on the website.
Yeah. Listen, Mark.
As soon as we're done.
Mark is still in chat. He says, I don't have an APAT account. Do I still get my medal? Well, Mark, listen, I'm very sorry to say that if you go to apat.com and create an account, then your postman is going to have to carry that medal all the way to your house. So, yeah, it's not an issue, but do fill that in and we'll have your details on file then.
Okay, I'm there. Hang on. I'm there.
Go on. I'm buying you some time.
We are there. No, we're all good. So we've got a top 20 now. So Tim Ruckquist's win, as we predicted, he would end up top of the leaderboard for the week. That's the way it goes with the main event. But let me give you a rundown of who's made the top 20 this week and is picking up added value. So Tim, we mentioned about. So Aaron Swasland, step 1, he gets 2 tickets. Minji gets 2 tickets, step 1. John Murray gets 2 tickets. Step 1. Tony Ross picks up 2 tickets on step 2. Oh, that's cost us, Des. That's cost us. Oh, bloody Tony Ross costing us $22. Honestly, outrageous. Julius Valentin, he's going to pick up a ticket, as is Gustavo, as is Jens Hegelman, Gustavo Pinto. Brian Frew has made it in from step 2, so he's up to step 3 next week. Alexander Siris from Germany, he's exactly the same situation. Richard Brunning, Maxim, Leandro Robin, Eddie Nyaxu, Nick Rawlings, Mark Roovers sneaks in there in 19th place with his performance in the main event tonight. And Craig Dawson is number 20. And the one guy I've not mentioned, 8th in the leaderboard, was playing step 3 this week, Des.
Mr. Wigglesworth.
Mr. Wigglesworth has made the top 24 cashes for the week. He is moving on to step 4 tomorrow.
He's laddering up, Lee.
For tonight. Sorry, yeah, for this week. So he is playing this week now for $55 tickets. We really don't want him to finish in the top 5. This is going to, honestly, you're going to be, that Ferrari fund is going to be decimated. Pete Wigglesworth could ruin your Ferrari dreams.
I want to see him. I want to see him hitting that top 20 again next week and getting into the 109 territory when it'll get really, really interesting.
And we're on the phone to the insurance company, aren't we, at that point?
Yeah. We'll have to call Rob Young and say, look, Rob, can you fix the software or something? We need Pete Wigglesworth to
pull the lever.
We need him to take a spin downwards quickly. Well, listen, what a great evening. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Well done to all of the winners that Lee has called out there. Well done to the guys who won the sort of the 2 final tables tonight. It was fun watching you all play. Lee and I are back next Sunday night with the APAT Show at the normal time of 10 p.m. We have
Easter
the leaderboards. Easter Sunday. God, we hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah.
Are we back next Sunday at 10 p.m.? I assume we are. I'm planning to go anywhere.
I still have nothing else to do on a Sunday night.
Let's do it then. It's a date, Lee. Let's do it. The leaderboard ladders promo carries on through this week. So if you enjoyed playing the events over the last few days and you want to carry on with the fun of the group, please do get involved. Lee and I will be back next Sunday night. And I think with that, we shall now say adieu. Lee?
Night all.